You are now listening to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
My name is DJ Vince Adams. I absolutely appreciate what the Chicago Clubhouse crew is doing for the city of Chicago.
Hey, young world, what's good? It's your boy Bernard Varian, a.k.a. B Twice.
What up? This is Rasheed Davis, former Chicago Bear wide receiver.
Hey, my name is Lemuel Stinson, a.k.a. Lemonhead, formerly of the Chicago Bears.
What's up? My name is C.J. Watson, former Bulls guard and bench bomb creator.
This is two-time six-man all-star baller Ricky Deuces Pierce.
What's up, people? This is Chicago radio legend Rick Party, the voice you hear everywhere.
My name is Pee-wee from the movie House Party.
This is Megan Martinez from the Good and Funny podcast.
Hey, this is Bubba Ball from Shit's podcast.
Hey, this is Nika from One Shot Wellness, repping from the ATL, dropping some drips on that Chi-Town Clubhouse podcast.
This is Sherry, and you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
You're now rocking with Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
Where they think they know everything.
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 But they don't know shit.
But they don't know shit.
But they don't know shit.
But they really don't know shit.
But they really don't know shit.
But they really don't know shit.
But honestly, they don't know shit.
Hey, I smell something. I smell something. I smell podcast. The Chicago Clubhouse podcast show.
They really don't know shit.
You already know what time it is.
You see this Eddie Jackson jersey right here? Take this.
This dude literally just took my soul.
So I didn't like playing with Brett Favre at all.
You could have waited until the draft if you wanted to look at another quarterback. You didn't have to sign Andy Dalton, who is really nothing but a backup.
Evander Holyfield is 58 years old. What you want to fight a 58-year-old man?
But man, he wants to keep fighting.
Because he want to fight him. Okay, it's an exhibition.
But yeah, it's an exhibition because, you know.
This ain't Drago and Apollo Creed, man. Ain't nobody about to.
Man, Martin and Tommy Hearns was an exhibition. You saw what happened to Martin.
This could hurt.
Thanks, Hayden. Nothing but the best.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, bro, tough for real, man.
Yeah, man. He like tougher than some grown folks I know, man.
That as a coach, your job is to give your players the best opportunity to have success.
Michael Jordan, when he came back at LeBron James' age, he was a straight up nothing.
That is blasphemy on his computer right now.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Without Dennis Rodman, I couldn't see them winning like they did those second three championships. I can't see it.
I agree.
And now I'm the voice of SportsCenter on ESPN. Now on SportsCenter. Tonight, LeBron James. And whatever.
Do you guys really coach how exactly to tackle correctly? Because I see it all over the league now. People cannot tackle like they did whenever you guys played. But do you guys practice tackling at all?
Welcome to the podcast where we think we know what we're talking about, but we really don't know shit. I had to turn my phone off. Someone was calling me. But anyway, we got a great podcast tonight. Our guest tonight, when you talk about Tim Weigel or Jim Rose or guys like that, GOATs, you got to mention Mr. G, and I'll tell you his name, his full name later. Although if you saw the plugger, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But I want to tell you what happened to me at the football game the other day, at the Bears game. And I want you to tell me if I was petty or not. So I was I was talking my shit, during the first quarter. I was talking my shit. This dude that was sitting next to me, he was a Ravens fan. So he was talking his shit too. Then he got on Justin. Okay, I don't really play that shit. You can't really get it. So he was saying, how Justin, he's not ready, and Lamar, he's like a GOAT in the making. And Justin, he's just not really competent to take over the starting reins. It should have been Andy Dalton in the first place. I was like, man, shut your ass up. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. So that right there pissed me off. So at the end of the game, after Andy Dalton took the sack, he was gloating. Yeah, Ravens win. So anyway, me and my pops, we had to walk by him to get to the stairs. So as I walked by him, it's kind of like he was yelling in my ear. You know how people try to act like they're not really talking to you, but they are? That's what that was. So when I was walking by, he got like an octave louder. And it was in my ear. So I kind of elbowed him a little bit. So he looked at me, kind of sheepishly, like a little bit. And then he said, "Oh, my bad." And I said, "No, it wasn't your bad. I elbowed you." And he said, "Oh, great fans. And I said, "Fuck you." Was I petty for that? My pop said I was petty, but I was mad. Maybe I was petty. I don't know. But anyway, enough about that shit. Let me know if I was petty. Let me know in the chat, or just email me, text me, or whatever. Let me know if I was petty or not. But anyway, let me bring in my all-star team. I'm going to shut up. My man, the stat man, who knows every single stat since the 80s and 90s. My man, JB. JB, what's up, Playboy?
You got it, brother. What's the word?
Was I petty? You can say if I was, because I know sometimes I am.
I mean, I don't really think it was petty, but I mean, at the same time, you was mad. So you can't. There's no petty meter when it comes to somebody's anger or disgust.
Right. So I had to take it out on the little Baltimore dude. He got it. But anyway,
he get in your area. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he did.
So
he did. I equate that to getting in my face. If you get in my face, I'm gonna give it to you, and I gave it to him. I didn't think I was that petty, just a little bit. But anyway, let me introduce the rest of the All-Star team. My man, X Factor, AB.
Come on, ride that train and ride it. Petty trains all day. That is petty as hell. You, LeBron James, that guy, really?
I did.
James him? Come on now.
I did.
Really?
I did.
You can't
be like
that.
Hey, so if he got in your ear, what would you do?
I would walk the hell away. I don't want to be like all these Bear fans. We are literally under attack right now because we had Bears fans at a high school football game booing about firing Nagy with his son on the field.
At his son's game.
Narrative about us as fans. Other fans from other groups think we're a joke anyway on the field. You want us to think off the field as well? We can't be.
I wouldn't go that far to boo his father. But you're a petty dude too.
I mean, it is what it is. I would personally not. No, absolutely not. There are more important things in life than worrying about some petty Ravens fan who just had a good day, man. Let him have his only day in the sun. He drove all the way over there. He's a Ravens fan, so he's already, already sad with his life. So
are we about to introduce a petty Ravens fan? No.
I mean,
yes, we are. A super petty Ravens fan. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in here talking shit. But the last part of the All-Star team,
I don't even want to bring him in because I can see him in the back room and I know how horrible he looks right now. But I'm only going to do it because he has his friend with him. How about that?
Don't tell me he has a fucking Ray Lewis jersey on. No offense to Ray Lewis.
I'm not going to say anything then.
But or Joe Flacco or somebody. But
You're
anyway,
right.
let's bring him in, man.
You're right the
Let's
first
bring him
time.
in.
Oh my God.
Fucking Cal. Come on, man.
Get out of here, Cal.
Come on with that bullshit.
Well, Cal, it's been fun, buddy. See ya. All right.
See y'all.
Anyway.
No, wait a minute. We got a message for you besides, how do you say thank you in Spanish? Oh, great. Baltimore County Schools. Great. What do you mean you don't know how to say
Baltimore County Schools?
Right. How do you say Merry Christmas in Spanish?
Y'all hear me?
No. Don't tell me.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. All right, go to bed. Go play some Xbox and go to bed. See you later.
Lord.
Man, why don't you go change?
No, I'm solid. All right. This is it. I'll take this off and we'll rotate into a proper hat. I'm sorry. Hey, Terrence. Look, that's all I'm gonna tell you, man. You gotta get in the weight room with us. Like, if you're in the stands, you gotta be in the weight room.
You gotta give him the 100-yard stare. Oliver's got a good point here on this. You've got to give him 100-yard stare.
That's fair.
Okay, so Cal,
yes, sir.
What are you doing now? What
settling
are you
in.
transforming into?
Let me settle in here.
Figure out
Wait, what did you think I was going to come with?
You look like E.T. right now, Cal. I'm sorry.
I got a hat somewhere.
You look like E.T. wrapped in the blanket, like in the movie.
What did you guys think I was going to come with? Nothing? You would be so disappointed if I didn't. Tell the truth.
You should be coming with that bottle that you owe me from that.
I mean, if you come in with Ray Lewis, I would love to talk to Ray Lewis.
Can we please just skip over the Ravens shit?
Yeah, it's hot. So I will.
Let's
I will.
get to our guest.
Go ahead.
Let's get to our guest.
Are we dropping Cal out, or is he going to be a part of this?
No, Cal's going to stay in.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so
more better.
Like I said, you talk about Tim Weigel, Jim Rose, you're talking about the GOATs of Chicago sportscasting. You cannot leave out Mark Giangreco. So let's bring him in.
My guy, my buddy.
What's up, Mr. G?
Oh, man, I don't know if I fit in this clubhouse with a bunch of petty-ass mothers like you.
Yes.
By the way, I don't know shit either, so I'll fit right in.
Yeah.
Oh, you know a lot of shit, Mr. G. You know a lot of shit.
Being petty, man. I got fired. Remember that?
You did. You did. We can get to that. We're going to talk about that for sure.
For some petty shit.
Everybody here is probably going to ask about that, I'm sure, because that is the most petty thing that's been said on this whole show as of right now.
Yeah, we could.
It's going to get worse, but trust me.
Yeah, we can talk about on the road for sure. But you're talking about crowds and fans and chanting. Okay, Bulls fans were chanting for Nagy's head at the United Center, of course, at Soldier Field. Every home game, they chant "Fire Nagy." But you know what? His kid's high school game, that's off limits, man.
That's too much.
That's
so off limits. But you know what? Sports, especially sports fans, we're a reflection of our society. And now our culture, the climate, the politics, it's so nasty. It's so bad. We all hate each other. Guys are blowing me up on Twitter, calling me a snowflake, saying, dude, get over it. It's just a bunch of kids chanting "Fire Nagy," having fun. That's hurtful. His son playing in the game. I mean, families are off limits, man. You can rip a player or a coach all you want as a media member, as a fan.
Yeah.
You know, families are off limits. I was a hockey parent for 17 years. Mm-hmm. I've seen some horrible stuff across the country, Canada, over in Europe. My kids played everywhere. And you got dads duking it out in the stands, slugging each other, and just berating kids when they come off the ice. I mean,
hockey.
Yeah, it was
fucking hockey.
I have 3 sons, but they're all grown and married and on their way. But when they were in grammar school, high school, and college, I'd go to all their games and I'd try to sit there and be quiet and just cheer and be cool. But some of the stuff that's said is just so vindictive and so hurtful. And with your first kid, like I was kind of a jerk, yelling and screaming, and then second kid down. And by the time you get to the third kid, you're cool. And I was lucky enough to have my kids play with a bunch of guys who went on to the NHL. And so their dads were NHL players, and they would sit up top of the stands and not say a word. The ones who bitch and scream and yell and moan are the parents who never played a sport in their life, and they want to live vicariously through their kids. And those are the obnoxious ones.
I agree 100%. hockey's a whole different animal too. I mean, I've went to minor league hockey games and I've heard kids screaming things that I wouldn't even say. And I say a lot of bad shit, man. And I'm like, what the hell? Where's your parents at?
Where their parents are sitting right next to him saying that shit.
They're damn right they are. They're in there shoving them and encouraging them to say shit even worse to me.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's hilarious, man.
They have a right to do whatever they want because they bought a ticket. Well, you don't. I mean, a little civility. And you talk about the Nagy situation now. Okay, so this guy, Mark Giangreco, who's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, I guess, used to be at the Sun-Times. Now he's at Patch.com. He supposedly broke this story that Nagy's already been told that he's fired after Thursday. Well, it really doesn't matter whether he's fired after the Lions game or he's fired at the end of the season. If he's fired now, that would be historic because the Bears never can a coach during the season.
Right.
But who cares? I mean, he's got to go.
Yes.
The problem is the McCaskies own the team. They will never sell the team.
Yes.
Just remember, the McCaskies are George Halas's in-laws. They don't know anything about football. They never played football. They never coached football. Then you got a guy like Ted Phillips, Notre Dame a-hole, arrogant, smug jerk, who's got his head so far up their ass.
Preach, Mark.
Said it better myself.
He's there for life, untouchable. He'll be president forever. And now Ryan Pace seems to have wormed his way into the family where they won't fire him. They make the worst choices. And now just today, they let the assistant coaches face the media. Then Nagy has to face the media. There's no game plan on how to handle this and get out in front of it. So they leave the coaches hanging out to deny everything. Nagy says, and I'm sure this is just semantics, well, they haven't spoken to me. Well, they may have sent him an email, or maybe they spoke to him last week and didn't talk to him on Monday. I mean, Nagy, we were so excited as fans, as media members. Here's this young, creative, energetic guy replacing a dud like John Fox, an old veteran, not creative at all, defensive curmudgeon. And then we quickly find out
I love that
12-4 season, Nagy's first year. It was it was the exception to the rule because players always play better for a new coach for a while. I mean, look at the Blackhawks are trying to get it together now. But quickly you find out he's Andy Reid's disciple. Well, he learns this system. He thinks in his head, and he can't be creative with it and make adjustments. He just puts in his system, and the players have to fit it when you need to create a system that fits your players. So it's never worked. And it's word salad from this guy 24/7. And it's all lettuce. There's no salmon. There's no chicken. There's nothing. It's word salad. He talks in circles. And then the big story, of course, was last week when somebody reported that he'd lost the locker room. Well, no shit, really. And
you think? By now, you think?
Reporters speculating or leaking a story. That comes from the players leaking the story. So, yeah, he has lost the locker room. Nobody wants to play for him. But what are they going to do now moving forward? Are they going to just throw Chris Tabor in there and let him finish the season and tell him he's got a shot at the job? I mean, he's all energetic, big on the sidelines. Can he be a head coach? Who are the hot young OCs out there now? You got Byron Leftwich in Tampa. You got Kellen Moore in Dallas. You got a few other guys.
Ryan Day.
Which way? Oh, this is where we should be looking because it's inevitable, you know?
Yeah, Ryan Day. You forgot that name.
Whoa.
You love him.
Oh, Mark likes that one. Thank God somebody else likes Ryan Day besides me.
He's already
the only one that love Ryan Day.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, why leave Ohio State for this horrible job? I mean, I understand that part, Mark.
See, James Franklin just got a 10-year extension.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're losing right now. They're like reeling. I'm really concerned about that.
You know, he's rumored for every job that comes up. He's had to say no to USC 500 times. But the fact that he turned things around after the Joe Paterno scandal, you know, that's what will get him a job there for life. So these guys don't have to go anywhere. Plus, remember, they don't have to face the Chicago, LA, New York media. They face students. They face small market people who don't ask the tough questions. And they're the kings of their little fiefdom in the little college towns. They're God. And you make dollars. So why come to the NFL where players look at you like, really? I'm not playing. You know.
Well, not even that, Mark. The fans, just like we talked about. I mean, if we're booing, his son in a high school game, why the hell would you want to come here for that?
Well, and I think the whole thing about Chicago being a legendary original franchise and everything, and that is all worn off. That was generations ago. Bear weather, that's by the wayside.
The field.
And Arlington Heights, I assume, will be there. It's just this franchise is just in total disarray, and it's never, ever, ever going to be fixed. One thing I want to say, body language in relation to Nagy and his young quarterback. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Did you see Nagy when his headset went out? He freaked. He went out.
Yes. I felt bad for that NFL guy, man. He just hanging out in the side. He ran him down like he was going to tackle him, Mark.
And the tech guy leap in the back.
Yeah.
But
this was Sunday.
Yes. And he lost his oxygen. He was just freaking out.
I didn't see that.
He went totally apeshit on the sideline.
Yeah.
And was frantic. But
that was a perfect example of how he's not in control. He's not calm. And I've been saying this the entire season. The moment is always too big for him. He can't handle it. He cannot handle it. Even turning over the play calling to Bill Lazor, that helped a little bit. I'll tell you, Lazor's play calling in the Ravens game looked like Nagy's, Denny's menu again. So, and then
that's what we call it.
Right. The other thing I noticed about Justin Fields, maybe this is too much, but he's obviously a really talented guy. Still has a lot to learn. He's got a real slow wind-up delivery. He's got to tighten that up. He's got to learn how to read defenses and check down. But that's every rookie's, task to do. But when I see him on the sidelines, he's never looking at an iPad. He's not talking to a coach. He's not talking to other players. He's just sitting by himself, kind of aloof on the bench. I don't know if that says I'm not playing for this guy anymore, or if he's just thinking, I got this, I'm fine. Remember when he first got here, he said, yeah, the NFL game's not really that fast, So
yeah, dude,
that changed real quick.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck he said that.
I mean, I have seen him a little bit. Like I saw Sunday, I saw Mooney ran a route, and I love Tony Romo. The way that Romo broke it down, he should have cut up the field more. I did see Justin go to him while they were coming back to the sideline and just kind of talking with him and pointing a little bit. I'm not saying he does that all the time, Mark, but I have seen him do it a little bit. I feel like he just doesn't really like Nagy, and he knows the system isn't built for him, and he knows that he's not going to succeed. So he's like, why should I waste my time with him? I'm going to worry about these guys like Mooney. Him and Mooney are boys, man.
And Mooney is
I've heard a lot of Komet too,
Mooney was a steal from Tulane. I love the guy. He's spectacular. And I think that, management and ownership sees their rookie quarterback, all this potential, is not happy. That's going to force the firing of Nagy for sure. But again, where do we go from here? Remember, the first time the Bears ownership actually sought a veteran NFL consultant was when they hired Ernie Accorsi. And
you pay.
But don't hire a young up-and-comer. Hire John Fox, a veteran who's been in a Super Bowl. And, of course, that went by the wayside. That blew up. That was awful. So I think he really needs to have a young, exciting OC by his side, or a new head coach who's going to delegate, because it's like they've just shut it down now. And even at the beginning of the season, my whole thing to people who would ask me, well, do you think they're a playoff team with Fields? Forget it. Forget the record. Get the playoffs. They're not going anywhere. Just focus on Fields' development. Period. And pray he doesn't get hurt.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
So, Mark, let me ask you this, because this is something that's going through a lot of our heads. Can we sit through Ryan Pace if he goes upstairs to another cushy job? Can we trust him to – there you see, you already answered it – to hire another GM and a coach?
No. He's gonna be in charge of that, and Ted Phillips will have his hands in it too, and so they're all going to collaborate.
Yes.
that damn word again.
And
that collaboration shit.
Another non-football guy, Pace, coming out of New Orleans, he fancied himself as the young, hip, cool, up-and-coming GM who was going to find all these diamonds in the rough. And all these guys are so arrogant and have such big egos. They all have that Jerry Krause goal in mind, where they're going to find the next Scottie Pippen. and they're going to own that pick, and that's going to make them famous.
Yep.
Well, try that with Mitch, and look what happened. And Mitch is going to have a longer career than Matt Nagy in this league because
guaranteed.
He'll be a backup for 10 years and make a shitload of money.
Right.
Mitch,
Yeah.
But I don't think Ryan Pace should be let off the hook. Like, everybody's firing Nagy. But Pace is even more to blame because he's the one that bought the groceries. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he probably knows that too.
Hold on. Okay, yes. Remember John Paxton? Remember that name?
Mm-hmm.
What did they do with John Paxton? They went and hit him upstairs.
That's the Dorf way. Kenny will too. Just kick him upstairs, give him bigger titles. I mean, I love Pax. He's a wonderful guy. Horrible GM. And Gar Forman, who the hell was he?
Oh my
God. A coach at Iowa State.
Good God.
He was awful. He was god awful.
And just saying nothing, and just it was just mind-boggling to try to interview the guy. Yeah, he was a scout. He was a coach. That was a disaster. That couple in the front office. And you see what Arturis is doing. They got a team. DeMar DeRozan is money. Zach LaVine's got people to play with. I didn't think Lonzo Ball was anything because of his old man's hype. He can play. And look at how valuable Alex Caruso is. I mean,
great pickup.
You go on and on and on. Okay, they get blown out by the Pacers. That's the end of a long road trip. Caruso's out with a wrist. They had back-to-backs. They were exhausted.
3 games in 4 nights, Mark. Yeah.
I don't even count that. But they got it going. And I just don't see the Bears being able to do that because at the top I said, Ryan Pace has got himself weaseled into the McCaskey family the way Ted Phillips has. So he could be locked in for another 4 or 5 years. It's mind-boggling.
Oh, it's painful. He got rid of our draft equity.
Yeah.
No cap.
So you know that this past Sunday, we had over $50 million that wasn't even playing on the field. 55, I believe, was like around the actual number. That's how much money was on the bench, injured or out completely. Not to mention the other 20-some million dead cap space. This guy cannot manage my checkbook. He can't manage anything. Why move him higher upstairs, Mark?
You can't manage your checkbook.
Damn right I can't.
We're trying.
I'm not hiring him to do it either.
I don't even have a checkbook.
I don't either, Mark. That's what I'm saying. I can't manage one. I got a debit card. That's all I've ever.
I do have one big check that I made Channel 7 pay me.
I heard about that check. I bet that was a nice 18-month worth check, man.
Well, when I said, I don't want a regular check. I want a big cardboard check like I want a PGA tournament.
I'm going to take a photo. Take a photo out in front of the station with it.
Anyway, we're trying to be reasonable here and make sense. But what the McCaskies do doesn't make sense at all. Look, let me give you the rundown here. Okay, Virginia, George Hallis's daughter Ed McCaskey. Ed was a song and dance man. He was in vaudeville. Really funny, wonderful guy to be around. Didn't know anything about football. Her son, Mike, God rest his soul, really weird dude. Didn't know anything about football. Pat is off the rails, weird, bizarre. Doesn't know anything about football. Brian, who actually went off and had a bunch of rehab facilities, he's back in the fold with the Bears. He's the only normal guy in the family. Then you have George, who's this nice, likable, nerdy little geek. Once again, who doesn't know anything about football. And if I hear him say, oh, geez, mom's really pissed.
Ryan,
really? Do something about it.
Ryan and Matt are our football guys.
Yeah. All right, guys.
But doesn't Virginia have a brother? Isn't there a Hallis son somewhere in there?
Oh, Muggsy actually died young. He's the man who was supposed to be the prodigy. He was the one who was going to take over. He unfortunately passed. So,
okay.
The Bears died whenever Muggsy died, honestly.
I think he also had a dog named Muggsy. I'm not sure. But listen, no, here's the thing. And then you talk about so upset every year or so irate. Look, as fans, as Jerry Seinfeld once said, you're rooting for dirty laundry. We root for the colors and the logo. Because the coaches and the players change all the time, whether you're rooting for your pro home team or your college team. Human beings have to belong to a tribe. We're really tribal, and we have to have a common interest. And so people, to get away from their mundane jobs and lives, they're obsessed with sports. And we get so emotional about it. It's never going to change. They can be the Detroit Lions for the rest of their lives, and people are still going to buy tickets and go to the games, and they're still going to watch every game on TV because it's ingrained in our culture. We can't live without it. So we talk about these fans saying, I'm giving up my tickets. We're going to boycott. Nobody go to Soldier Field. We want to see empty seats to embarrass the Bears and cut their revenue. Hey, even if they did that, they could live off the TV money forever. And the McCaskies, they need this franchise to support dozens of people in their family. That's their sole source of income. And so it's never going to change. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Damn, that's terrible.
Yes,
I got to give you guys generationally cursed because of this.
Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. You know.
And
I got to give you guys a nugget real quick.
Yeah, go.
So the McCaskies have, I don't know if she's a granddaughter or whatever it is, but like we were out one night in Old Town and we meet this girl and she's like a McCaskey's like granddaughter. I'm like, this can't be fucking real. And it was real. And I was like, what do we do here? Because it was like such a surreal experience.
You try to pick her up so we can change
We did. I promise you, we did. So this is like, I don't know, in Old Town. Hand to God. She's what's her name? I'll find her name out, whatever it was. But like during the conversation, I was like, this can't be possible. And it sure as heck was. Olivia, blah, blah, blah. Jess, I'll have to get with the guys. I'll get her name.
How did you know she was like that?
Well, because we hung out with their group. We hung out with that group for like that summer. And it came like the water rose finally. We didn't know right there. She didn't drop it. But eventually we went to East Bank Club, whatever it was. We're hanging out. And it came out. And we're like, wait a minute. Like, this can't be right. And I was like, keep your mouth shut.
If you're hanging out in Old Town and you're East Bank Club, you got to change your name. You can't.
That's right.
You can't.
That's right.
Hey,
that's right.
Pesky, take your shots. No,
that's right.
My name is McKinnon.
Just some random.
Let me send a text. I'm gonna get the name right now. Well, hold up.
Random girl that just wanted to screw with you, Cal.
No, hold up. I got it. Just a sec.
I could never afford to go to East Bank Club. I would never be able to afford that.
You don't want George McCaskey to come to your door going, "Hey, I'm pissed. Hey, you quit."
I do.
Hey.
Right, that was my daughter.
I would say I'm marrying her and I'm stealing your football club and I'm taking over.
Oh,
I'm hiring a football president.
That's a person. Kill off the rest of the family and left.
Just Game of Thrones them. Just axe them once at a time, you know?
You know, everybody in the world has watched every episode of Game of Thrones. I watched about 20 seconds when they had this woman standing on top of a castle and they cut her head off in her head. And I said, you know what? I'm really not into it.
You watch one of the later ones.
Yeah, I'm not into that shit either. I'm not into.
I can't make a commitment to anything. So
that's a lot of commitment for that show. You got to pay the hell attention the whole time. You can't be on your phone.
Series. I can't commit to any series. I can't binge watch. I got too much to do, man. I watch. You know, it's great being a civilian, by the way, and just being a casual fan. So I'll just watch some football games on Sunday. Watch a Hawk game. They're playing Calgary right now. Maybe grab a Bulls game here and there. But I got other stuff to do. I've been traveling a lot. It's great. I mean, after 50 years, man, I've had enough. And it's great I'm with you guys and talking like a fan, but it's so depressing where basically local TV news is all but dead. Nobody's watching. It's all about podcasts and streaming and, all other media platforms. But I had a great run and I really enjoyed it, but enough is enough.
You got out at the perfect time, Mark.
Yeah, I really
honestly
did. And I have no regrets. It's just that I'm never, ever going to forgive or forget how I was run out, why I was run out, and especially by whom. Yeah. And being Sicilian, I hope they all burn in a fiery crash. But, I'm having a good time being retired.
Damn, did you just say burn in a fiery crash?
Hey, listen, you know what? Cheers to you, Mr. G.
That's a rough one right there. But...
AB, cheers to Mr. G for that one. I love it. I love the realism.
You got two Italian guys named Mark on the same podcast. I'm first generation Italian. Like, what are we doing here? We're really fucking going to burn it down, for God's sake.
M-A-R-K or M-A-R?
It's a C. It's a C. My dad called me Marco. He wanted to name me Marco. My mom was like, we're not doing it. She should have. So they met in between.
Oh, okay. I'll go with that.
Fair enough.
My mom was Irish and German, so we went M-A-R-K.
I'm Irish, Mark, as well. My mom's the Irish side of Baltimore, West Baltimore.
The Irish and the Italians always marry.
Fucking A. Like, burn, like a glutton for punishment is what it is.
Well, if I was 100% Sicilian, I'd probably be in jail by now because I needed to water that down a little bit. I do hold a grudge forever. So.
It's amazing.
You would have burned Channel 7 down if you were 100%.
Hey, I'm not mad. I mean, well, you know what? Since you opened the door, let's talk about the BS because we're of that generation where we grew up watching Channel 7 News, watching George Michael Sports Machine, watching you and Jim Rose. I've been to Jim Rose's house. I'm friends with his nephew, Andre. Like, when we say stuff just came out the blue, out of nowhere, like, wait a minute, where's Mark G at?
Well,
you talking about a group of people that were pissed?
Yeah. First of all, they're burning themselves down over there. Check the ratings the last 3 periods. They're getting their butts kicked, which
they are.
Which is great. I love it. But look, I've been suspended, I'd say 7 times during my career, both at Channel 5 and Channel 7. I shoot from the hip. I push the envelope. I step over the line once in a while. But you can never accuse me of being a racist or a sexist pig. All I did was fool around with everybody on the air. I was always very sarcastic, always just trying to have fun, never meant to really hurt anybody. But when you work with hypersensitive people and with a management team that, let me just say, isn't the strongest in the world, people get entrenched. And what I said was the most benign thing I've ever said in my entire career. Just talk.
Say a lot worse.
The two of us could have our own home improvement show on DIY Network. I showed a video of a hockey player in the house. And if it turns out that wasn't the only thing, apparently somebody had been keeping a log for years about how that person thought she was dissed by not only me, but other anchors and other reporters. And, this is in a climate where I have to be real careful here because in order to get a settlement, I had to sign a non-disclosure clause. So I can't rip the station. I can't rip the people involved. But it went right to corporate.
You did already.
Yeah, you kind of did.
No, he didn't, and we can. Continue.
But, they went right around the local management team, and this went to corporate legal. And so my agent and the Disney attorney hashed it out. We settled everything. It was fine. I got to leave early, and it all worked out. I'm actually very happy the way it worked out. But like I said, I'm never going to forgive or forget the people involved because it was really bullshit, ridiculous. But when you got an older guy like me who causes a lot of trouble, hey, you got an opportunity to, get rid of it. So let's do it.
And you see what happens when the older troublemaking guy is gone now. Their ratings are in the toilet.
Well, they were number 1 when they had Mark.
That's what we're saying.
Number 1 for many, many years. He was a staple of the whole entire industry.
So they need the older troublemaking guy.
No, they need people who will push the envelope and make shit interesting.
Well,
not boring.
You want to compete with social media and other platforms. You want to push it a little bit, but it's a very conservative station with a very conservative approach. The viewership is getting older and older and older. Advertisers don't want that. The key demographic that you always look at in ratings is not total number of viewers. It's 25 to 49.
Yes. Okay.
Because those are the people making money and spending money. So that's what advertisers want. And that's been a real struggle of late. Look, at Channel 7 was number 1 for like 35 years. 30 years. When I was at Channel 5, we were tied with them many times. It was a real war. It was a 1-2 thing all the time between us. But now you've got 5 TV stations in Chicago with local newscasts really just scrambling for crumbs, just fighting for a couple hundred or a couple thousand viewers. I think in the May rating period, the total number of viewers for all 5 newscasts was about 2,000 people. And the difference between the first and second place station was 200.
Yeah.
That's a high school podcast.
So nobody's watching the news anymore.
Well, honestly, JB, okay, so I watch a lot of these Chicago news, except ABC 7. I don't watch that because I know the whole boycott. I'm with
I used to, but I don't anymore.
But what it is, man, is if you turn on any one of those, Fox, any of them, right? It's all the same thing at the same time slots. Like they will have a politician on at this time. They will have something about the movies that are out on this time. And you can literally change the channel and they're talking about the same type of stuff on another channel. They all just completely mirror each other and have no originality anymore. That's what I see when I watch the news.
You hit it right on the head. We have 5 monitors across the office wall, and you turned everybody's newscast on, it's usually the same lead. The stories are all in the same order, the same commercial breaks, the same time for weather. Sports gets less and less time all the time. And you're right. The difference is the people. And so people, especially older viewers, they have their favorite anchor team because the format is the same and has been the same. Like late night talk shows, they've been the same for 100 years. The desk, the chair, the live band, that's it. So newscasts have been exactly the same for the same amount of time for the last 100 years. No one's willing to break out of the box and take a chance. Not. And there's so many other choices, and it's not appointment television anymore. It's not like, okay, we're going to have dinner and watch the news, or we're going to watch the news and then go to bed. No, it's, okay, I feel like watching the news, so I'm going to watch CNN, MSNBC, or God forbid, Fox News, or whatever. So it's always there for you. You don't have to wait. It's just become a very antiquated, irrelevant, outdated platform. It really has. And it's sad because I was so lucky to work in the golden age, the heyday when it was so fiercely competitive. We had so much fun. We'd unplug each other's live shots. We'd get in fights in the locker room. And, the players were just amazed at how aggressive we were in trying to get a story. And I loved that stuff. It was great.
Yeah.
So if Channel 2 called you right now, would you go?
No, I have to tell you, I'd be flattered. A couple other stations have already made me offers, and a couple radio stations as well, and producers of podcasts. But I tell everyone, if this had happened maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I would have been across the street the next day, just going full blast to bury that station. But hey, man, I'm almost 70 years old. I've got grandkids. I want to party. Relax.
Hey,
what a world. Putting all the beautiful thick women on TV.
You do not look one bit of 70.
No.
Not one bit.
Oh, he's 68, right, Mark?
He's 70 in 6 months.
Oh, you're
69. What a number. What a number.
Yeah, buddy.
Wow.
Have you thought about doing any podcasts or anything besides obviously your appearances? But
see, your mind's in the gutter, man. You're still thinking about the McCaskey girl.
You're not. Hey, Mark. First of all, I got to say 2 quick things. I'm staring at myself in like how many years, whatever the fucking math is. Hopefully, I can be this good looking in that time frame.
He looks younger than you,
right? No doubt. Well, you know what my buddies are saying? They're like, "Shut up, man. Say less. Like, don't put her name out there. Like, shut up. And they're right. Like, shut up."
I don't know what you're doing with the towel. You look like a burn victim. You're all wrapped up.
I love it. I am, Mark. It's been a hard week. I am. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, Cal, you still got the Dexter vibe in the background, man.
I know. Well, listen, man.
You do have a Dexter vibe going on in that.
Hey, like,
yeah,
you got to work on that.
Is that a basement somewhere?
We spruced it up. I'm just AB, the same basement. The same basement. Week 1, we talked about it. Like I went to the Christmas tree.
That basement looks like you kidnap people.
Nope. Here's what I did. And actually, I have a question for Mark. Mark, do you by chance know any of the guys? Because I'm from Baltimore. I've been in Chicago for 20 years, but this is where I was born. But the guys on the Big Bed morning show for me, I don't know if you know, like Ed Norris, Rob Long, Jeremy Kahn, those guys. They're like, to me, Chicago radio is amazing local, but these guys fucking. I cried my eyes out to go to a funeral all the way from Baltimore to Philadelphia on Monday, and they're the only thing that got me through. And I truly mean that. Like, they were recapping the game, and I was hurt, and like I'm just laughing at these guys the whole fucking way up. And Ed Norris is like kind of your world, right? Like bad beat, shouldn't have had it, but he's hilarious because he's authentic.
Well, those are the people you identify with. You become close to them. You count on them. It's really personal. Radio will continue on because we still have cars. You can't watch TV while you're driving.
Right.
So, terrestrial radio is struggling as well because you can't compete with Sirius XM and everything else. But yes, you get attached to those people. Growing up, I was so attached to, a few DJs growing up in Buffalo. They were legends to me. And media people have to understand the impact that they have on viewers and listeners. And it stays with you forever. When I was 8-10 years old, growing up in Buffalo, I had my little transistor radio, and I just wanted to be a top 40 rock jock. That's what I wanted to do. And I could listen to all the big radio stations across the country at night because they would change their signals to directional instead of circular. So I could hear WLS, Music Radio, Super CFL, CKLW in Detroit, CHUM in Toronto, 66 NBC in New York, and all the jocks I idolized. I mean, Larry Lujak, John Records Landecker, Herb Kent, Fred Winston, all these guys. That's what I wanted to be. And then just sort of fell into news and sports, grew up playing ball and you want to hang with that. But my first love was radio. And you identify with all those guys doing morning shows, afternoon drive, whatever. You get locked into them. You feel like you know them. So here I am, big shot sportscaster in Chicago. I'm at the Bills Giants Super Bowl 91. And there's Van Miller, the voice of the Bills. And I crumble like a nervous little kid. I didn't know how to act when I met him in the press room. And here I am. I'm supposed to be some major market sportscaster. I melted because I grew up listening to him as a kid.
For sure.
I agree. That's why I'm here is honestly guys like you, Sylvie, Waddle, ESPN 1000 guys. That's why I love doing this because I grew up, early, like, I don't know, like 1920. I was working a lot. I was always listening to radio. Those are the guys that I gravitated to. And I feel like I know them now. And now I get to actually interview them on these kind of shows, man. And it's a dream come true for me.
Well,
it is.
I really miss Waddle and Sylvie a lot. I
do too.
That was my release because I just run into the studio.
We were gold on them.
Between Sportscast and do my half hour, or whatever, and be free and speak my mind because you're kind of contained in a little box when you're doing TV sports. You have 2.5, 3 minutes. You got to fly through it. And they would always cut you on time. But no matter how little time I had, I always wanted to make sure I got at least 9 or 10 pieces of video in there and made it fly. I never wanted to cut anything. But radio, you can loosen up and really make a point. By the way, talking about Baltimore, my hometown, Buffalo, takes a lot of grief for being a dump. But it's a great place.
Similar cities.
What the hell's up with the tables?
I tell you.
Please get to that.
When players get traded to Buffalo, they're like, oh, God.
Oh, shit.
Siberia. And when they get there, they love it because the fans are spectacular. Baltimore, I went to the Army-Navy game.
Oh, the best game of the year, December 1st, whatever it is. That Saturday after, yes.
At Ravens Stadium, and my buddy who played for Boston College was good friends with the AD at Navy. And into the ball. And it's the Army band, the Navy band, open bar, dinners, and they had great entertainment. And the first person I see when I walk in is Roger Staubach. It's like, whoa. And we stayed in the hotel right on the harbor there. And Baltimore's a cool city. It was it was great.
Very similar tendencies to Buffalo. But Mark, I'm sitting here thinking like I speak in universal currencies, or I try to anyway, and that's sarcasm, humor, sports. I stay away from religion. I stay away from politics. Good. So I hone in on those three things. So if you don't understand them, that's a you problem. It's not a us problem. Like, fuck off. Like keep up. That's it.
I have a question about universal currency. You have any Bitcoins? What about this crypto?
I got Dogecoin. I have Dogecoin, and I'm waiting for Elon Musk to take it to the fucking literal moon. He's literally going to take it to the moon.
So what is one Bitcoin? Is that like 60 grand?
Hold on. I will tell you right now.
I don't know what the fuck.
Right now, Bitcoin is $56,487.99 for.
Scared to invest because it's so volatile. Look, we're getting off on this track here. People are just buying cryptocurrency to cash it in for real dollars, like they're playing a risky, stock market deal here. But who accepts cryptocurrency besides Tesla, Virgin?
Actually, there's a lot of places that are starting to do it. Mark, actually, Mark Cuban is a big a huge pusher of it for the NBA. So the NBA's actually taking it.
Cool. Well, see, they're always in the forefront.
They are.
Cuban should have run for president. Should have. But we're not going to.
Cuban has his hands in a lot of shit.
He does.
Let's get back to because I always get in trouble with politics.
Well, actually, Mark.
Not on this podcast.
I had a question for you that I heard you say something a while back. I think it was last time I spoke with you. I don't know if you remember. But who's your favorite singer of all, or who is the greatest singer of all time, Mark?
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye. Okay.
Well, I put Sam Cooke in there.
Who's the best entertainer of all time?
Sam Cooke.
Mark?
The best entertainer of all time?
Yeah.
Tom Jones, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But I would put Bruno Mars.
There it is.
Michael Jackson. Hey,
you said Bruno Mars to me, and
Bruno Mars.
It really resonated.
Versace on the floor. Versace on the floor, right? Like, come on.
I love that you go that route.
Bruno Mars right now is the greatest entertainer of all because he
I agree.
The next Michael Jackson.
Agree.
To team up with Anderson .Paak to form Silk Sonic to do I'm Gonna Leave the Door Open. Now they followed it up with I Gotta Smoke Out the Window. You got to hear
yes.
It is sick. The lyrics are unbelievable. Moves. I mean,
this dude, man.
Listen, if you walk in from a night and whatever it is, the lights are low, and you play Versace on the floor and you don't close,
then
you couldn't get laid. Like you couldn't get laid in a women's prison with a handful of partners. Like that's what it is, man.
Okay. And the McCaskey girl in Old Town. No,
let's keep her quiet. keep her quiet.
No,
say less.
Oh,
say
wow.
less.
Say less.
Song, you got to listen to it. I got to smoke out the window. It might be even better than I'm going to leave the door open because this band, this group, talented musician, Anderson .Paak, this guy is so versatile, hip hop, rap, R&B, soul, funk. He plays every instrument. He's as good as Bruno Mars. And together they are sick. And they've got like 4 other guys in the band. They're doing a parody of the sexy old 60s and 70s Motown funk soul love ballads. But they're actually better than the songs that they're mimicking because the production is incredible. So yeah, write me down Bruno Mars, number 1.
I will do more than that.
I love it. I'm
just gonna do a quick one. Okay. I'm not allowed to do a whole lot more than that. Yeah.
We're gonna get dinged.
I don't want to get dinged, so it was a quick tidbit. Like 5 seconds is fine, but I just had to hear it. Love it.
So, AB, you got a little.
I had another thing, Mark. You've lived in Chicago how many years?
40
years.
Oh, I know what this is.
There's something I gotta ask you, Mark. And now, everyone's favorite game show that's sweeping the nation. How Chicago are you? With your host, CCP's very own Terrence Nickel. So, Mark.
Yeah, I'm not the host tonight. I'm
actually
not
the host of this amazing game show we have here. Cal,
I can't wait.
Cal, you don't know shit about Chicago.
No whammy.
I lived there for 20 years downtown. Let's go.
Okay, so here's how we're going to play, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you all a question, and I am going to give a little timer. Here's the music for the timer. Oh, sorry.
Is there a TV show doing this, like on GN or on TW?
If they are, they stole it from us.
Yeah, because we don't watch those people.
Yeah,
you need to get a patent on that.
We don't know who they are. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a nice little 10-second runoff. You can think about it. I'm going to call on you one at a time. You don't answer until I call on you because Tommy Harris last week just started blatting out shit without even waiting for me to tell him or ask him. So
I'm usually not good at this under the gun. Dude.
Well, I'll let you go last just so you feel comfortable with it. And you can hear everyone else's answers since you're the guest. The guest gets what he wants. So first question I got for you guys. It's a pretty I think it might be simple for you. So, how many buildings in Chicago stand 1,000 feet tall or higher?
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, man.
I'll give you 1 through 10. How about that? The answer is between 1 through 10.
All right. What?
So, hang on. Sorry, guys.
2 are obvious, then 3.
3 are obvious to me.
Yeah, 3 is recent. 4. Got FEMA building right next to me. That thing's huge.
Okay, Terrence. That's what she said, Mark. Anyway, okay, Terrence. I finally got a that's what she said. I haven't got one of those in a while. All right, Terrence. It's on you. What do you think?
7.
How many?
7.
Okay.
7.
What you got, JB?
I can think of 4, and that's it.
4. What do you got, Cal?
The only thing I'm thinking of is every time I go on the fucking architecture tour, I'm hungover. And they want to take a picture of me at the end. I'm like, fuck off, man. Get away.
That's not a fucking number, man.
7.
7 for you? How many for you, Mark?
I've taken the architectural tour twice, and because they have a bar on the boat.
They do. Dog.
Here we go.
I'm staring at myself.
I only remember the things were actually on the river, and they're like 8 stories. So I'm going to say the obvious ones, Sears, Hancock, Trump. They built this new one, this Wolf thing, and I'm just going to say 5.
So the answer is actually 6.
Ooh.
So it is.
Wait, so
it is the Sears Tower. I'll never call it that other
They're
name.
calling it that other name.
The Trump Tower,
right?
St. Regis.
Never say that.
Aon Center.
Right. I knew that.
875 North Michigan Avenue, and the Franklin Center.
Oh wow!
So who wins?
Yeah.
Who wins?
Nobody got
0
it.
points.
Mr. G said 5. I said 7.
Everyone
it's
has
not
0.
The closest one.
We split the difference.
No, 0 points for all you guys. Flag on all you. Okay, flag.
There's a retired lawyer who was on the boat on the microphone, and it was for fun. And he was doing the tour. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
So he pulls me aside when I'm getting off the boat. He goes, "Mark, this is what you should do this in retirement." I'm like, I can't remember.
You would be amazing, Mark. Mark, you'd be Vince Vaughn.
Pretty good at it.
Yes, you would be breakup too.
Vince Vaughn, I do like.
It'd be amazing.
We could just say something shitty about each building.
Chicago's finest, by the way, right? Swingers, the whole fucking deal. Vince Vaughn, here we go.
Oh yeah, Vince from shot.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be hungover because apparently everyone's either drunk or hungover when they go on the tour. So it's
no doubt,
fine.
Because somebody's in town, right? Like I'm not, and the tour is actually awesome. And the architecture of Chicago is why you love it.
I think Chicago is the greatest city in America, and I love the architecture. It's great. What stuck with me was, and it's terrible, it's awful, is when the boat comes out and it turns around in the lake and comes back in the river, you see tent city, you see all these homeless people are living along. I'm like, oh, that just kills it for me, Sorry to be so.
So let's liven that back up. So next question.
I was thinking like all the hot girls on the boats and you're on the tour because you see them all out there. You're like, fuck, there's a playpen. Let me get out there. And I'm like, I'm on the architecture store.
You would ask me how many tents there are there for the homeless. I probably would have got there right.
Yeah, that up. So next question. Lincoln Park Zoo opened after being gifted a pair of what animal from New York City? Think about it. Don't say it out loud if you know it. And I'm going to dance.
You need some lessons, dog. I don't know what the fuck.
Where'd you get these questions? Where are these questions from, AB? These are Chicago.
From the Chicago Sun-Times.
All right, I like it.
Last, I think March of 2020, they put out like an anniversary thing.
But they're not a measure of whether you're a true Chicagoan or not. Because
these are some
have you been fucked up at two lights? Yes, you're a true Chicagoan.
Oh, this stuff.
Okay. You want to just get to the bonus question then?
No, let's just keep going. No, keep going.
Do the zoo animals.
Let's go to shit like, where's the late night shrimp spot in Chicago?
Uproar.
Okay, I got a better one for you.
What the fuck is that?
Underground.
There it is, Mark. That's an OG. That's an OG answer right there.
Underground. I can agree with that sort of.
Ties
but
to
I'm thinking
on Ashland.
Yes, Stanley's. What's closed?
Oh my God, Stanley's
Goose Island in Lawrence's.
No, I'm gonna give it to you. Fuck Sheffield and George. Hold on, Sheffield and George. What's the fucking What's down Belmont there, Mark? It's open till 4 a.m. There's only a few 4 a.m. bars in Chicago on Saturday. It's got to look. Hub 51. Yeah. I mean, like I'll think of it. Go ahead, Davey. I'm sorry.
All right, let's do the news. Let's do the two animals.
Does anyone have a guess?
Well, they're always trying to breed tough, and the toughest animals to breed would be pandas.
What if I gave you a multiple choice? How about that?
Okay.
So it's a pair of animals, right? So it's lions, elks, pumas, swans, or monkeys.
Okay. Well, it's either monkeys or lions. So I'm going to go monkeys.
Monkeys? What do you think, JB?
Because it's Lincoln Park Zoo, I'm going to say swans.
Ooh.
What do you think, Cal?
I think the greatest bar in Chicago is Richard's.
Oh, my
fucking
God.
bar none.
Oh, the hell out of here.
Next to last.
That's not a fucking answer.
Yes, it is. It's the best answer.
There the other night.
Correct, Mark.
Yeah.
Chris Edgerton said brats.
These are the things. Richards is right next to La Scarola. You have dinner.
Correct.
You do shots with Armando, then you go.
Piccolo Sonio across the street. The Dawson, right there. Yes, sir.
I used to live
Green Dawson.
Grandin Green for me, Mark. Grandin Green on the corner there.
So Cal,
Hey, I lived above the Asian rub and tug, dude. Listen to this fucking story real quick if I can. Asian rub and tug. I had to share the fucking laundry with the Asian rub and tug people. There was only 2. I'm like, you guys got to be fucking kidding me. Like, it was a bad story. I'm going to shut up.
Nasty laundry right there.
Yeah, I never did. I just kept buying clothes.
Elks.
He said elks.
The answer is swans. JB got that right.
JB, that's good because
JB, how the fuck you know that, man? You don't even go to the zoo.
Because it's right off the little river thing, Mark, next to where we do the paddle boating and stuff.
That's good thinking. Yeah, that's where they found a giant alligator or something.
Yeah, years ago.
It was a caiman about this big, and everybody.
Okay,
I got one for you. Like, oh my God, it's big. It's like that big.
I got one that's a little more up our alley, and I want to know Terrence's answer, especially for this. What Chicago pizza joint is widely credited for inventing the deep dish pizza?
Ooh.
Here's your choices. You've got everyone.
No, don't do choices. Don't do choices.
They even got to give us those choices.
Yeah, don't do multiple. Don't do multiple. No.
Okay, then.
Can I go first on this? Can I lead off?
Yes, you can.
I'll say Pequods.
Okay.
Wow. Well,
that's some nasty ass pizza.
No, Pequods is joint. Well, Pequods is what you want. You don't want like the fuck. Never mind. But you don't want like Gino's East. You don't want the long lines of Illuminati.
We'll come back to you, man.
All right, I'm gonna shut up.
I think some of those bigger names claim they did. To me, Aurelio's is the best Chicago pizza ever.
Oh, Aurelio's? Okay.
You got to ask for Old Oven because it's a different taste. I live 2 blocks away from the big flagship store right here at Roosevelt in Michigan. But I think Aurelio's is the best, but I like thin crust. I'm sick of deep dish. I'm going to say Pizzeria Uno or Gino's East. They claim to have invented.
Not or, which one?
Pizzeria Uno.
Okay. What do you got, JB?
So my guess was Pizzeria Uno, or I was thinking about
another. The same thing. That's fine.
Or I was thinking about Bacino's.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty.
Which one?
Yeah, I'll go Bacino's since Mark said Bacino's. Yeah.
What about you, Terrence? Are you just going to say Giordano's and get it over with, or what?
No, Uno is definitely my guess.
Uno?
Pizzeria Uno.
Well, you are correct, sir. You and Mark are correct.
I should have said Uno.
Pizzeria Uno. I honestly can't believe that.
You know that transplanted Chicagoans always order Giordano's frozen. I go out to Colorado.
Yeah, yep.
I go to Florida. They're like, "Oh, Giordano's frozen." I go, no, man.
Yep. Mark, can I give you a quick thing? Can I give a shout out to Cafe Luigi?
Yeah.
Cafe Luigi's the best thin for our crew, best thin pizza in Chicago. Cafe Luigi.
I love that place. I think I'm going back to La Scarola, by the way, next Friday.
I'll write that down.
I'm
kidding.
Now that I'm an old has-been, they moved my picture out of the front and it's back by the bathroom now.
Rookies. Come on, La Scarola.
We gotta fix that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
By the bathroom?
We got a tie, AB.
Well, I had a bonus question, actually.
Okay, go.
So, who is former ABC 7 star Mark Giangreco's favorite place to eat in Chicago?
Well,
we
won't know
Mark,
that.
I'll let you go. None of you know that?
Come on, you guys are hearing me talk about it all the time.
I mean, come on, guys.
What's that? What's the establishment behind Joe's Own Wheat? It's what's the establishment, Mark? Do you know what I mean? There.
Y'all are.
I'm kidding.
You go on this.
Y'all go. I don't know.
You guys, go ahead. I have my own table at this restaurant.
I know exactly the place.
It's downtown, right?
Yeah.
You got to watch ESPN 1000 to know who this
Chicago
is.
Cut. Chicago Cut. We talked about it. Chicago Cut.
Bingo. There it is.
Oh, well, that's not fair because
I was about to say Hugo's Frog Bar.
You guys ruined this game.
I jumped it.
Hey, I met Chef David Flom years ago. Great guy.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah,
great guy.
My part. Sorry.
It is what it is. But I'm going to say Mark's the winner just because he's the guest. Mark wins. Way to go, Mark. Awesome job. I had a bunch of other questions, but obviously we are way too off base to ask questions.
What a world. What a world.
So, but I did have a fun one.
You had some shitty-ass questions.
I got a fun one about sports. So every Chicago team, NFL, NHL, NBA, and baseball, how many championships do we have between all of them?
Oh, hold on.
How about that? Is that good enough for your standard?
Yeah, that's great.
Well, then answer it right.
God damn it.
Let's see if I can add it right.
I was off by like 7 on this one, because I actually guessed it first.
I think I got it.
What do you think, Mark?
12.
Anyone else want to answer?
I was going to say 13. But
I was saying 13 or 14 because I'm going. Can I tell you why?
Go ahead.
I'm counting the Chicago Sky.
No.
So don't count the Chicago Sky.
It says NFL, NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL.
Okay.
So I was counting. Look, I was counting the Chicago Sting and all them. So no, okay.
That's what I was going to do too, and that's
we had a fan that said 26.
That's the way you did it.
Hell no.
That's the way you could have done it, but you asked the question just baseball, football, basketball, hockey. That's all. But the Sting should be in there. The Sky should be in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Chicago Fire, they won too.
Fire. What else? I love like rival leagues that pop up, like the USFL, the WFL. Of course,
the Blitz, the Chicago Wolves.
Yep, Wolves. Hey, I was the only guy showing Wolves highlights when they came to town.
I remember that.
The AHL actually gave me a big plaque and honored me in one of their games because, I was a hockey dad, played a little bit. My kids all played. So I was, leaning towards hockey all the time.
At one time, we were thinking the Wolves could beat the Blackhawks.
Well, they could certainly outdrew them for many years.
Yeah, they did.
And, during the real down years, the Wolves.
Well, Rocky wouldn't put them on TV. So,
yeah, Bill wouldn't put them on TV. Rocky.
I'm sorry, Bill wouldn't put them on TV.
But my guess is 12 of the major sports.
So let's see.
And I got Terrence said 11, and JB's trying to cheat by looking at his phone.
I'm not. Nope.
So,
Look,
how many, JB?
Over here. Nope.
How many?
They be Googling that shit.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
How's your broadband speed, JB? What's your broadband speed over there?
Uh-oh.
Not fast enough.
It's all locked up.
Yep.
What happened to the timer?
Well, you guys just kept getting off topic, so you weren't really following the timer anyway.
Well,
so the answer. Oh wait,
no, don't say it yet.
Yeah, okay.
He's not even in his own basement. It's like broken house.
Time's up.
By the end of that, it's done.
It's 10 and 1 didn't count because of the Black Sox scandal.
It is 27, actually. You
What?
guys are all way off. We had a fan actually say 26. He must have Googled, but they threw one more. This is the Chicago Sun-Times thing. There's been 27 championships.
You said championships. Okay.
God, you Googled that shit.
I said championships the whole time.
So I'm thinking 6 for the Bulls, 1 for the Bears, Super Bowl, 2 for the Cubs, 1 for the White Sox. That's what I was thinking.
Championships.
But championship, right? Before the Super Bowl.
Trick question.
Hey, weird tangent. If you haven't read this book, it's a fucking weird tangent, but JB said it, so I got to pull it up. This is the book of all books. This is like the OG book.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the guy.
I think
this guy
should have checked. I just mentioned the ones that I covered: 6 NBA championships, 3 Stanley Cups, 2 Super Bowls, Cubs World Series, Sox World Series. So that came out to 12 for me. But I didn't list all the old ancient ones.
No.
That's why he said championships, but we're still saying
it's like the Bears have like 9 championships or something like that. So
very disappointing. 63. I forgot to count that.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I don't do well under pressure here. I was excited to hear the USFL is coming back, but they're only going to start with 8 teams, and one of them is not going to be the Chicago Blitz. They're going to keep all the old names in the same locations, but the Blitz might come in later if they're successful their first year. And I'd love to see them put a lot of heat on the Bears and give fans an alternative, because that league was going gangbusters in the summer. It was going great, and they had some big-name guys, and they had former NFL players and some good rookies, and they were very competitive. About 4 or 5 of those teams were very competitive with NFL teams, and they had a TV contract, and they were rolling. But, of course, Donald Trump comes in. He buys the New Jersey Generals, and all he cared about was getting the Generals in the NFL because the Bills, the other owners said, we don't want you in our club. So he ruined the USFL by forcing them to go to fall and go head-to-head against the NFL. Had they stayed in the summer and spring, they still would have been going. So I wish them luck.
Yeah. What hasn't he ruined? Name one thing he hasn't ruined.
Exactly right. He's
but I'll never forget, Mark, one of your hometown heroes ended up choosing the USFL over the NFL. That's Jim Kelly.
That's right.
Kelly, yeah.
Houston Gamblers.
Yep.
Run and shoot with Mouse Davis. He had 4 little wide receivers. He had Gerald McNeil, the Ice Cube, who played for the Browns. Ron Johnson, who played for the Lions. He had Gary Clark, the little wide receiver
played for the Redskins. Yep.
I don't know if he had Ernest Givens or not, but he had 4 of those little running backs, and it was no huddle craziness. I mean, all those teams were really exciting. The owner of the Tampa Bay Bandits, John, I forgot his last name. He was battling cancer, and he was fighting Trump all the way. And, once again, Trump bullied all the other owners, but he was really trying to get them to stay and play summer. But all those teams, Reggie White played for the Memphis Showboats.
I remember that. Yes.
And they had the coolest logo. I mean, they had some really fun teams. Like Jim Mora had the Philadelphia Stars, became the Baltimore Stars, or vice versa.
That's right.
They won both those championships. They could have beaten a lot of NFL teams. They had Kelvin Bryant at running back. And then Michigan Panthers, they had Anthony Carter. They had, what was his name? Spencer, the running back from Ohio State, who was a running backs coach for the Bears. Tim Spencer. And they had a bunch of players in that league, and they were really exciting.
Yeah. What happened to the XFL? Because I thought that was going to gain steam back.
It's coming back.
Vince McMahon happened, I think, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
The Rock is supposed to be trying to bring it back, but
that's right.
He bought the XFL from Vince McMahon. I think it's coming back in 2023.
Right. And
but you have all these other, like this.
Andrew Luck's dad is supposed to be helping with that.
Oliver Luck. He played for the Oilers, and he also ran NFL Europe.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
See, the NFL,
Smart dude.
Greatest game in America, and it owns our culture, like I was saying. But stop trying to sell it overseas. Nobody gives a shit. The rest of the world loves soccer. Basketball and hockey are international sports. American football is not. And they're ramming it down the throats of the British in London every year. I mean, the people in London think the Jaguars are the greatest team ever because
they always go over there.
I'd rather go to Canada, really, Mark, honestly.
Well, I grew up on the border, and I had every CFL game on Channel 29 from Hamilton, Ontario, and I loved the CFL. And I always thought, shit, that's a pro league I think I could have played in, But it's fun to watch. 3 downs, bigger, wider field, deep end zones. It's crazy. You hardly ever run the ball. It was wild, and that's what the AFL was, encountering the 2 yards in a cloud of dust with the NFL back in the 60s. The AFL was wide open, and they tapped all the historically black colleges to get all those tremendous athletes. The NFL was all white, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Mr. G, did you ever play football when you were younger?
Do we what?
Did you play football when you were younger?
I played in high school, and then my career ended in college when I tried to walk on, and I got cut by a first-year assistant coach named Dennis Green.
Oh, snap.
Wow.
You played to win the game. That's not you played to win the game.
That's
There you go. My guy, the point guard got us. My guy got us.
Or who we thought you were.
There you go.
Dennis,
that was Herb. Oh, sorry.
Dennis was coming back at Iowa, and his first paying assistant coaching job was at the University of Dayton, where I went, and that was D1 football back in the day. And we used to get crushed by SMU and Pitt and everybody early in the season. The only teams we could beat were Illinois State and Butler. But we did have a few NFL players. And so Dennis comes out, and the NCAA sets aside one day for walk-on tryouts. There's like 50 of us. And we ran 40s and 100s and did some agility drills. And he's like, okay, thanks, guys. You're all cut. And so I go, Coach. I go, Coach, we didn't even scrimmage. He goes, look, it's an NCAA rule. We have to do it. We never take walk-ons. What are you kidding? He goes, plus, no offense, but I don't need any 5'11", 180-pound slow white guy. So like,
Mark, can I ask one question to Mark?
Well, with one.
Yeah. Wow. Wait a minute. Here's the story. Fast forward. He gets.
Isn't Tom Waddle a 5'11" slow white guy?
Yeah, he gets the job at Northwestern, and I'm at Channel 5. And Chet Kopic was the main sports guy, and I was the weekend guy. And Chet's like, I want no part of that show. They lost 27 in a row. Let the kid do it. So I'm doing the Dennis Green show. He walks in. I introduce myself to him. I tell him that story, and he goes, well, hey, man, I don't remember you, but I'm really sorry to say that. But I'm paying for it now because at Northwestern, all I have is 5'11", 180-pound slow white. Became good friends, and he was terrific. He was great. Remember, when he coached the Vikings and they won, he would play the drums in his live band on his coaches show.
Yeah.
And he was at Stanford. He was at the 49ers, the Cardinals. I mean, he could talk his ass off, and he was a likable guy. He was great. I really miss him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mark, I want to ask Mark a question if I can, because like to me in Baltimore and in this space, everybody's got somebody who like taught them the game or who they idolize. And I idolize Van Pelt, right? I idolize the guy.
Yeah.
And if we walked into Starboard, if we walked into Mad River, and it was 100 times, he would beat me 100 out of 100 times, whether we're talking about sports or weather or girls or whatever it is. But I was thinking about last night, like if you walked into a bar with DP and 10 times you took a shot at something, whether it's sports or girl or whatever, who's winning of that ratio out of 10 times? Because talk about like the best in the game too, like it's Dan, right? It's you and Dan, and you're on the same campus. I don't know what the spot is, like College Park, Stanley's, Mad River Bar and Grill, Baltimore, Ladder 15, Philadelphia. What's the spot in Dayton?
We would be at Timothy's or the Cash Bar.
I love it.
And Dan used to call me up. I had a job out of college. I was working in radio. My first full-time radio job was sophomore year in college. And I had more experience than my teachers, so I hardly ever went to class. It took me like 5.5 years to graduate. Because I was working full-time in Dayton radio. And then when I got out of college, I got the weekend sports gig in Dayton at Channel 2. And I remember Dan calling me up. He was a freshman when I was a senior. So I got out of school before he did. He would call me and ask me, hey, man, how'd you get in the business? Can you help me out? You know, and he's asking me for tips. And then, of course, he becomes Dan Patrick. And we had a lot of guys go to Dayton who are very successful in the media. We could rival Syracuse with people like that. But Dan also was on the basketball team from Cincinnati. And he got in during garbage time. He'd jack up that Catholic school jumper from the corner, you know, and run back.
And it went in, though. It went in, like fucking Dan.
Oh, he was at the half-court line, didn't play defense. You know, but DP is awesome. He's incredible.
Yes.
Carved out a monster career. Bob Costas and I are basically the same age. I think Costas is a machine, as is Mike Tirico. When I was coming up, I don't think you got to go back on YouTube and watch some NFL Today shows with Brett Musburger. They were so innovative. They're the template. They set the standard for every pre and post game show now. They were so far ahead of their time and innovative. They had Jimmy the Greek talking gambling.
Jimmy the Greek.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, of course,
Goodfellas, right? Whatever it is.
George, Miss America. Also, when I was working in Louisville, my ex-wife, my now ex-wife, was a investigative reporter, weekend anchor at my station. That's where I met her. She got out of the business. She became Phyllis George's press secretary when she was married to John Y. Brown, the governor of Kentucky, when I was working in Louisville. Oh, wow. And then Phyllis, did all the in-depth, really nice at-home interviews with the players and their wives, and that all worked. Remember the famous interview with Roger Staubach, where Roger goes, "Hey, I like sex just as much as Joe Namath. I just do it with one." But you had Irv Cross, former player, doing the real nuts and bolts, and Musburger was so good holding it all together. They did the greatest features, and every pre and post game show now is still that same template that they invented.
That's awesome.
So if you had one guy right now, one guy of all time that would announce your life and you could only hear that voice forever, who would it be? Who is your one announcer?
Well, if you ever listen to Deep Tracks or Classic Vinyl or any of those Sirius XM stations, there's a guy named Earl Bailey who's got an unbelievable set of pipes, a great voice, but a famous person. Oh God, man, I would have to think about that.
Your favorite though, Mark?
Yeah, my favorite well-known guy that you would know. Oh.
We don't even have to know him.
Why do Wayne know?
Somebody immediately says Samuel L. Jackson, of course.
You can't do Samuel L. Jackson. You can't do what's his name?
I know.
How about James Earl
Lawrence
Jones?
Fishburne or any of those guys.
The other guy. You already named the two guys like him.
James Earl Jones. How about him?
I know the one you're.
You can do James Earl Jones, but when anybody asks you a question about who you want to announce your life, they immediately say you can't do Shawshank Redemption. Come on,
Morgan Freeman.
Oh, Morgan. I'm Morgan Freeman.
You can't do Morgan Freeman. You got to pick somebody else because he's the greatest voice of all time.
I was gonna say for you,
he is.
like Dick Enberg or like Keith Jackson.
I was thinking sports guy, but okay.
I would go
Dick Vitale.
Yeah, Keith Jackson would be good. You know who else? Being an AFL guy, you wouldn't remember these guys like Charlie Jones, Kurt Gowdy, guys like that.
I remember Kurt Gowdy. He was on the news with you.
No, that's Chuck Gowdy.
Oh, Chuck Gowdy. Oh, Chuck Gowdy.
Channel 7. Kurt Gowdy was an Oklahoma Cowboy, and he did Major League Baseball on NBC. He did the AFL on NBC. He was terrific. I remember he sat next to me in the press box at the '93 All-Star game in Pittsburgh, and Carlton Fisk was playing for the American League, so we were there. And he comes over and says, "Is anybody sitting here?" And I said, "No." He sits down. He's got a big scarf on, and his eyes are so bloodshot, and he is shit-faced drunk out of his mind, just asking me what's going on. And I'm going, "Oh my God, this is Kurt Gowdy." It's one of those, your heroes. You're like, "Oh my God." But Kurt was awesome. I would go with Charlie Jones. I think you got to give him a listen. Just pop him up on YouTube.
Definitely will.
I have two questions. My second question is a segue question. My first question is a personal question. In the mid '80s, do you remember the basketball game Bears versus Media?
Yes, I do. Well, I also remember Bulls versus Media.
Yes.
So this was the Bears versus Media. You were working for Channel 5.
Yes.
Richard Dent, Mike Richardson, all those guys.
Yep.
I was one of the little kids they pulled onto the court that day. And
oh my God.
Yes.
I feel old, man. Really? You were one of those little guys they pulled out?
Yeah. Mike Richardson and Richard Dent came and pulled me from my mom and my aunt, and they picked another little boy up to dunk. I was the one that took the 3-point shot.
They were like Globetrotters. That was awesome.
Yes. And I remember you from there. That was my first introduction to you.
Well, I have to say, I do remember them picking up a little kid. If that's you, that's amazing.
That's crazy, right?
actually hit a jump shot in that game. That's all I remember about the game. But that was you. That's sick. I also remember playing in celebrity softball games with Steve Kerr and Ron Harper, and they would always pick me for their team, and I got to play left field, and it was 16-inch. Had a great time with them. So then it's Bulls versus media, and Steve Kerr and Ron Harper picked me again, and and Michael is on the other team, and I'm not going to mention a certain media person who he picked.
Right, I know who that is. Yeah,
he was on his ass the whole game, yelling, bitching, and screaming at him, calling him names. And we were up by about 12 because Kerr's hitting a bunch of threes. And Harper should have been guarding Michael when he was on the Cavaliers, on that shot that Michael
got Craig. Yep.
Yeah.
Harper should have been guarding him. He would have shut Michael down. So
instead of Craig,
Elo was garbage.
Not Elo.
Elo can't guard him.
Charity basketball game, and Michael was getting pissed, yelling at this one media person, and then he just took over the game because he had to win. He had to win.
He had to win.
Steve and Bron are just like, let him.
That was a perfect segue because my second question, of which we would segue, is what the hell is Scottie Pippen going on?
Oh my God.
Well, apparently he thinks this is the way to sell all the stuff that he's selling. His book, ribs, perfume, or aftershave.
Hey, look, his book is a snooze, and Terrence can tell you about his whiskey.
The liquor isn't that good.
I'll tell you, what's good is Chris Chelios's El Bandito tequila.
Ooh. Chris Chelios, former Bulldog. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was out with him the other night, and the tequila is pretty good. So I don't know. I think suddenly he's trying to market all this stuff and make extra money. So he figures if he can be outrageous and controversial, people are going to buy his stuff. Also, I think he still has this deep-seated resentment because, Jerry Reinsdorf warned him, do not sign this contract. And he signed that shitty deal. He should have waited another year, would have got mega max bucks. And I think he resents that. He's just pissed at himself. He hates himself and the way things turned out. Look at
he hates himself.
He's not wrong.
Mark was there. He knows. That's why I asked him the question. He was there.
And that The Last Dance was produced by Michael Jordan. It's through MJ's eyes.
Right.
So it's going to be slanted from his view. So first of all, you just have to know that going in. Scotty, you're in the top 50 all time of the history of the NBA. You're one of the greatest defensive players ever. If it bothers you to be Robin to Batman, you got to deal with that because you're the greatest Robin ever.
That's right.
Michael retired.
So good. So good.
Retired, you were one phantom foul away from winning a championship yourself. And then I remember Charles Barkley telling us on Waddle and Sylvie how, when Scotty went to Portland and Houston, he just mailed it in, didn't give a shit, wasn't a good teammate, and did make big money when he went to Portland. He got that big deal. But, because he made some bad decisions, he took it out on Michael. And you just have to know that it's Michael Jordan. It's his show. Yeah. I know I can't figure it out. I think he's lost his mind. I really do. And I've always
unfortunately for me, it's like ever since he lost his son, he's just been a different kind of person. And that's just a tragedy, honestly.
Just going to mention that. The other thing was Scotty was always so great to me during those years. I remember they're playing the Lakers in the first NBA Finals, and we're out in LA, and Scotty's going to be on Arsenio Hall's show, which was on CBS at the time. And Arsenio Hall was the biggest thing going. So I said, Scotty, can we go to the show with you and watch you tape the show? He said, sure. We get a limo. We're in the back. My producer and my cameraman are in the front. They're shooting us. We're talking in the limo on the way to the Paramount Studios. We open the moonroof. We're standing up singing I Love L.A. by Randy Newman. We pull up, and there's Jay Levine of Channel 2, Mr. Investigative Reporter. He's going to exclusive. He's going to break the big story and stick it to Channel 5 and 7 and everybody. And he's waiting there. The limo pulls up, and he tells his cameraman to start rolling, and he runs over, and I walk out of the limo. I'm like, hey, just bam, right in your face. I mean, we're NBC at the time. The show was CBS. So he tapes the show. My producer, Bob Vorwald, goes to the front desk and goes, yeah, I'm from CBS. Can I have a copy of the show? They give it to him. We take off. We feed it back. We got Scottie Pippen in the limo. We got him on video. Channel 2 guy walks up and goes, hi, I'm from CBS in Chicago. Can I have the tape? He goes, I just gave it to your guy. No, that's the competition.
Oh, no.
I love it.
Hey, T, I got to do it. I can't believe I'm going to do it, but I have to do it because this is the show. When I was at Morgan Park, Scottie Pippen's daughter got so fucked up at a dance that she threw up and we had to send her home.
Ooh.
Scottie Pippen's daughter, like at MPA. I probably way too much information. Say less, right? But like
less is more, right, Cal?
Right? Like shut up, Cal. But here I go. I couldn't resist it because like that's the story, and it's like Pippen's daughter, and you're like, shit. Pippen's daughter's fucked up. What do? You send her home.
Why was she at MPA in the first place?
Because she went to school there. She was at like a high school dance.
She went to Morgan Park.
She went to Morgan Park?
Yes, she went for a year. And you know who went there too that broke my heart is Howard Moore's daughter. Oh. Like Howard Moore, like Wisconsin. And Howard Moore, when I was there, he would say hi to me every morning, right?
Well,
and
early.
Yeah, I just can't even talk about Howard Moore.
Yeah.
Because he's such a good man. Yeah. And he didn't know me from Adam. I'm fucking like doing like traffic duty, right? I'm standing out there like making $20,000 a year, and here's Howard Moore asking me how I'm doing.
Hey, if you were getting into TV right now, that's what you'd be making, $20,000 a year.
Right. Well, I think I am because I got fired from a company, but we'll talk about that
later. Oh shit! So both Mark and Mark have something in common.
Yeah, I'm living this guy's life, and I can't even believe it. It's like it doesn't even. It's like a dream. Like
they both got let go from big ass corporations.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, but you got a long way to go and you'll find something great. I can just cruise now and look back on some really fun stuff, but who knows? Maybe I'll do my own podcast and have all you guys on.
And I had asked you, were you thinking about doing it? You definitely had a Hall of Fame career. Like, nobody can talk sports without bringing your name
Hands
up.
down.
There's only one way to tap it off, Mark, and that's going on top. And you could definitely bring it, man. Better than most.
I really appreciate that, and I have to say, I really do. You guys are awesome. I have to say, I hired a PR firm, a law firm. I had my brother's political strategy group. I had my agent, and we were just going to go to war and go to court and everything else. And as it turned out, everyone spoke for me. I never had to plead my case. All the fans, all the viewers and listeners came to my defense. And what I'm really proud of, 11 women I anchored with lined up and said, this is bullshit. And he's our partner and he's our guy. And so I never had to say a word. And I think
the lady did you do the New Year's show with?
Janet Davies.
Janet Davies. Come on now.
Come on. This is the first time in 31 years that Janet will be watching a New Year's Eve show and not being on it. And this is the first time in 21 years where I will be watching a New Year's Eve show and not doing it live because, they let Janet go. They let Steve Dolinsky go. They're just cleaning house over there. Funny that other stations are picking up all these people and doing well. So,
hey Mark, did you was the high road easy? Honestly, because I'm on it, right? Because I've kept my mouth shut. No. But I'm like, when do I get off the fucking high road? When do I get off?
The high road's easy because
the high road is paid for him.
He had
me too.
Exactly. He had the support of us.
But he did it. Like you did.
There's a difference. But
I'm basically a low road underwater guy. Like I'll go at your throat, and it's been really hard for me to take the high road. And I'm really trying to.
I think you have. Honestly,
with my birds,
Yeah. No. Yeah. I agree.
I can't mention any names, but everybody knows who was involved, and it worked out great though because I'm having a blast, and it was time to get. My deal would have been up the end of September of 22, and I'm not sure I could have made it. It's so depressing. Now, but I'm so thankful that I had a run that I couldn't even dream of. It was a blast, and like I said, it all happened. We all made a shitload of money, and it was the most exciting time. The 80s and 90s.
Yes, golden era.
It was. Yes. So if I was just coming up now, I feel bad for people getting out of college who want to get in the business now. And my advice is work for a team, a league, a D1 school, any kind of a corporation, any kind of streaming platform, immediately go into podcasts, immediately go into what is next, because local TV news is dead. Forget it. Newspapers are dead. Radio is dying. So work for a company that's going to have a great production facility. You can put together great pieces. Obviously, if you want to be a crusading journalist, that's not the way to go, because you're basically going to be pumping out propaganda for your team, your league, your school. You're never going to deal with a controversial subject, but you'll be able to do really nice creative work. So unless you want to be an investigative reporter, my advice is to go work for the other side.
Mark, I want to be half as good as you, and I'll never get there. But
well, I don't know about that, man. You guys are all damn good, and you have a good time with it. See, I just wanted to have fun. And the best thing about it, you just have to be yourself. You can't model yourself after somebody else. You can't do the TV guy thing or the radio guy thing. You have to be yourself, because in a market like Chicago that's so provincial, people see right through you. You know, I was just being me on the air for 40 years, and I got in trouble a lot for it, but that's the way I was. My mother was in your face. She would call you out all the time. I was always in trouble with coaches and teachers in school. And that's just me. And I just took it on the air, and it worked. But, you know, I think I'm the only moderate to liberal Democrat who's ever been canceled. And
that's the truth.
And the pendulum has swung so far the wrong way to try to come back and find center that the whole woke cancel culture thing is really out of control. It really is. Hey, we have to change as a country, as a society. We have a long, long way to go. And it's horrifying what the last 4 years created. And look, I wish the Democrats had somebody better than Joe Biden to put up. But moving forward, I hope that we can find some common ground. And here we are talking politics, and we said we wouldn't. But there's no compromises. Nobody comes across the aisle. At least we got this infrastructure bill, which isn't exactly what everybody wanted. Our country's in turmoil. It's a mess. And we've gone way too far in censoring people. I ask a lot of stand-up comics. I mean, I love stand-up comedy. I love going. Pat McGann's a friend of mine, and he's opening for Sebastian Maniscalco now. They're on tour.
Yes. Yes.
You know, he's an Arlington Heights guy.
Yes.
And his shit is so great.
The best.
Family stuff.
Airport check-ins, right? Like you left your ass off. Like just see him in Rosemont, see him wherever. He's coming. He's always coming into town.
Yeah, and it's so hard to be funny because everything is so insulting and everybody's so sensitive.
I agree.
And that's the thing, that whole sensitivity, man. We done opened up Pandora's box to the point where it's like censorship might as well come and just put a sticker over everybody's mouth, man.
Right. What makes things funny are like shocking, horrifying, taboo things. Like everybody's thinking it, no one's allowed to
say it.
Right.
Stand-up comics, and you just go dark and horrifyingly funny. You know,
like Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, yes, Alan, like 100%.
George Carlin used to do that for me.
Well, so like a guy like Dave Chappelle, like there's a narrative out there that the LGBTQ like hates him, and that's not even the real case.
Shame on them. Shame on them.
It's not them. It's not them. It's above them. It's like the bigwigs at Netflix. Those guys are the ones that aren't happy because of what he's saying. It's offending, you know, their big business partners. Exactly. It has nothing to do with that community at all. He's even come out and said it.
Weak, spineless, terrified man. Yes. That's what it is. The LGBT community, they have to realize all Chappelle was saying was
the truth.
Now you know the plight of the black man in America, and maybe we could work on this. And I'm all for your thing and pioneering your road, and you deserve to be recognized and respected. But we, as you know, African Americans have been fighting this for a century. How about if we get this fixed? And I'm all for you guys, but you know, he's speaking as a black man about his situation. That's all. He wasn't ripping them or they didn't deserve to be heard or recognized. recognized or respected, and it totally got blown out of proportion because of exactly what you said, Mark. The bottom line, ownership, management, corporate America is like, holy shit, this is going to affect, our profits. So we got to behave.
All we can tell you on this podcast, and Mark, all you can tell us is the truth. That's all we can tell you. That's all we know.
Hey, look, these podcasts are for everyone's opinion, and it may not even be right, but the opinions have to be heard.
They have to be heard, and they do matter.
Right and wrong. I got into it on Twitter about the chanting at Nagy's son's football game, and they're all like, "Oh, you snowflake, you're a wuss, come on." And it's just like every Twitter conversation ends in an angry, hateful, fuck you.
It's an echo chamber. It's an echo chamber of
I barely even get on Twitter anymore just for that reason.
Who agree with your perspective. And, I, for one, would actually, I'm not asking like rhetorical questions or being a smartass or being sarcastic. I'm down to, no, I actually need to know. I don't understand your point of view. So please explain it to me. I'm not being a dick. I'm not being sarcastic and mocking you. I'm actually asking so I can try to
genuine. You're a genuine dude. Like
you're being ignorant towards a situation, and you want to grow from it and learn from it, and that's all we should all do, Mark.
Yeah. Well,
but when you're trying to get on somebody's level of ignorance, if you will, but then they're combative, then it's almost like you're not helping me to understand what you're saying.
It's like the OJ trial split America. The reaction was shocking and so different from the two sides. And now with these trials going on, with the jogger shot and killed, and with Kyle Rittenhouse in Wisconsin, oh my God. And you just see how divided we really are and how really, really fucked up our entire country is. The two perspectives are just mind-boggling.
Polar opposites.
Yeah.
Polar opposites.
Absolutely. Well, the good thing about this podcast, we say whatever the fuck we want.
Clearly.
We don't know shit.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
I love the premise. You don't know shit. Come on and just yell fuck. I mean, that's a shit.
That's why I figured you would get along with these guys, Mark.
A lot of these people that claim to know everything, they don't know shit. They don't know more. They don't know any more than we do.
Well, you get to I used to know a lot of shit, and now it's all leaking out of my ears. Like I can't. I'm in the drugstore. Everything. All the high-end drugs are locked up now. You got to ask somebody to unlock the case, and you got to get some of that neuro whatever. Take some pills supposed to improve your.
Oh yeah.
Stuff.
Jesus.
I'll be in mid-conversation telling stories, and I'll forget somebody's name. It's nothing. So, eat your vitamins, work out, play some mind games, and try to stay healthy, man.
Same.
And then you can look like Mr. G at 70 years old.
Doug, good luck.
So
good luck.
What is the 70?
Benjamin Button's going backwards over here. Like it's a joke. Sorry.
Hold on, Cal. What is the 70th birthday bash going to look like in 6 months?
Where's it at?
All my kids want to come in town. My boys, their wives, my grandkids. And they just want to have a big party here. I'm like, why don't we just let it go? Why don't we just let it blow by? And they're like, no, you're not getting away with this. You were talking about Stanley's earlier. I got ambushed and surprised for my 60th in the basement of Stanley's.
Can't be a better birthday. Name a better birthday, Mark.
Right. Well, my 40th, my brother put 40 flamingos on my front lawn. Underwear.
Of course he named it. He named it like that. He's like, of course. I got that, Cal. Hold on. It's amazing.
That's crazy.
Hey, Mr. G, before we let you go,
yeah,
you said that you spent 40 years in Chicago. So I got a question for you, and I'm sure my All-Stars, they know what
I know what it is.
I think he kind of already answered it.
No, I didn't.
Harold's Chicken or Uncle Remus.
Ooh, I got to go Harold's because it's right down the street. Nice.
The one on 8th and Wabash?
Yes. No, Cermak.
Cermak.
Yeah.
So
okay, Cermak and Wabash.
So the other trick question is your favorite pizza place, but you kind of already elaborated on that.
Aurelio's. Yes, for sure.
He said Aurelio's.
A lot of us are all Giordano's.
Okay. Also, my favorite drink, dirty martini, blue cheese stuffed olives, Tito's. Ate a lot of
fancy.
And I don't eat enough steak. I need to eat some more steak. But I'm trying to work out now. I'm trying to get ripped up,
There you go.
For
Now,
that
Mark,
70th birthday party.
I have heard so much about Chicago Cut from you. I've never been there.
You gotta
but
go.
I plan on the next
It
time
is
I head that way. I am
ridiculously awesome.
going there. I'm praying that you're there, and I'm going to be like, this guy sent me here.
Yes.
On him, right?
You say, I ask for my table. And whichever's open, they'll say that's my table. Yeah.
Mark, so I lived at a long time close to there. I lived in the same building as Jason Benetti and Stone. And Benetti's the fucking man to me, right? I knew Benetti for years before I knew it was Benetti because we'd just be in the elevator and I'd be like, what's up, what's up, what's up? And we lived right next to Chicago Cut. And one time I was there, I saw Jeter, and I'm like, it's fucking Jeter sitting at Chicago Cut.
Top athletes and celebrities who come into town to do a show, play a game, they're all at Chicago Cut all the time. Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth are there every for a game. That's the place. That's where everybody goes. Speaking of Jason Benetti, we're
best
old school play-by-play guys who are legends. Jason Benetti and who else did I want to include in that group? Adam Amin, for sure.
Amin is amazing.
Those two guys are absolute rapid-fire machines. They're so clever. They're so good. They never
so nice.
They set the scene. Those are the two best young broadcasters we have in sports.
100%.
1,000%. Adam Amin is probably my favorite, NFL or NBA. He's probably my favorite announcer right now. And it's not just because he's around here.
He's great with Stacy. They blended right away.
They are hilarious.
And
he's even good with the NFL guys.
Yeah,
so good.
Has extended Steve Stone's career. So,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Nicest guys in America. Like, you wouldn't know him from fucking Adam, like, if you didn't know him. And they're that. And obviously, Jason has a different path than we all do, right? And you think about life and, like, what it really means. And I used to see Jason, like, walk down the hall before I knew it was Jason. And I'm like, this fucking guy is the man, right? Like, he is the man.
He's overcome a lot with his disabilities. It's incredible. And Adam, I was lucky enough to do some Waddle and Sylvie shows with him on ESPN Radio. And I tell you, he's about 5 feet tall, and he's 7'1".
Me and Terrence. So
I was going to ask you how tall he really was, because if you watch the Bulls and they go in the back and just show him with Stacey King looks like a giant compared to Adam Amin. Looks like a little villager just running from a
Stacey is 6'10". So.
I mean, yeah, but like.
Yeah,
it's like not even close. Like,
they were doing a bit the other night where they had the shot on him on camera to open the game, and they made a joke that Stacy looked like he was doing ventriloquist with a dummy.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Steve Stone's older than I am. He's like 72 or 73. And he and Hawk had about enough of each other. He's revitalized now. And I saw that documentary on Benetti. And you don't realize how much homework these guys have to do every day and every day. And Amin, as well as Benetti, they're doing Bulls and but they're doing NCAA basketball. They're doing NFL games. They're doing Major League Baseball games. It's sometimes it's the day after. They're on a plane, and you're just having to memorize all this stuff. You're going through rosters, tendencies, stats.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll take, if I can real quick, like, I love Gavin Sheets, right? He's a Baltimore guy, and I think the fucking world of this kid. And I sent him a random message one day on, like, whatever it was, Twitter, Instagram, and he got right back to me. And I ran into Benetti, like, leaving, and we talked about Gavin for, like, 2 minutes. And, like, classic good guy, Benetti made it all about Gavin, right? Like, he just organically. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? He's the best, dude. They're both the best. It's crazy.
When I knew I had to get out of the business was when I first got in, I was the same age as the players. And then I became the same age as the coaches. And now I'm older than the owners.
All of them.
Oh,
wow. Well, not Virginia. I mean, because I don't think
she's
God
like
is
99, 98.
She's 98 now, I think.
Yeah.
I think she's 97, right?
Yeah, she's about to be 98, I believe, if I remember right. But yeah, she's as old as God. So
I don't know how she's still going. She only missed one game in her entire life.
Yeah. And Mark, Why the hell can't they bring back the honey bears? So I have a lot of family that every year at the beginning of the season, they say Bears aren't winning anything because they don't have any cheerleaders.
Cursed honey bears like the goat at Wrigley? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Hey, you can't have cheerleaders anymore. I'm surprised that some teams still have. I remember Buffalo, they had the Buffalo Jills, and our neighbor, Susie Flynn, she was the Buffalo Jill, and the Bengals had the Bengals.
Dad joke right there.
Clever. How clever.
Hey, Mark, can I give you guys a quick Buffalo Bills story? When Mark, go ahead, Mark, finish. I'll give you this Bills story.
I was going to say, let's not go too far because we had the Frigettes too.
Yeah, we had the Frigettes. The Rams had the Embraceable U's. The Raiders, of course, the Raiderettes, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, they started it all. But that's politically incorrect now. I'm surprised teams still have them.
Yeah.
Truth.
Go ahead. What were you going to ask me about?
So I've been fortunate enough to be in rooms with Kevin in like smaller audiences, and I can think of two like rooms that really struck me. One was when he was traveling a lot, and he went to speak to Chris Beard's team at Texas Tech when they played Virginia before the championship game. He was traveling on the road, and he said, "Listen, we're a badass American company, and I'm a soccer guy. I played soccer in college. I love it, but like Adidas is a German company, right?" And so, like, I think of Chicagoland football, and I think of Kevin, right? And he told me, like, he's told so many great stories, but his Buffalo Bills stories, it blows my mind. Like, and I'm going to paraphrase him, and hopefully it's not out of context. And I've had, like, 6 Woodfords, so excuse me if I can't speak. But, like, here's the story. Here's the story. So Kevin, his first gig, like, Kevin obviously makes the brand. He's a Georgia Tech guy, Maryland guy, special teams, which says it all. It fucking says it all right there. He gets into Georgia Tech. His first NFL order is a Buffalo Bills order. And he makes the order, he sends it out, and he gets a call from the EQ on Friday and says, "Kevin, we don't have the fucking stuff." And Kevin's like, "What?" Like, he's cutting his teeth, right? He's like me. He's young. He can't get over the Delaware Memorial Bridge. He doesn't have 350 to get over it. So back in the day, you'd have to cut all the cloth. So he comes outside, he cuts all the cloth, he makes it, all this shit, yada, 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 sweating his ass off. He goes to FedEx, gets the FedEx. It's 5:01. He can't get in the door. They're like, "We're closed, bro." He's like, no. It's the Buffalo Bills. I got it. And they let him in. He sends it. He goes home. He's sweating. And he hits play on his answer machine. And it goes, "Hey, this is Alan Bratcher from the Buffalo Bills, the EQ. Sorry. Hey, Kevin, we found the box. We're good."
What?
No kidding.
He built him for both because he's the fucking man, right? Wow. He built him for both. And then you look at his genesis is like, any given Sunday, the speech, right? A game of inches. And they were like, "Kevin, do you want to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're going to fucking bill you for it." And then you have Jamie Foxx, and then the brand took off. But there's guys I know in the trenches who were starving with him, right? They were fucking starving. And I grew up in Baltimore. I'm like playing sports. I'm an alley kid from like The Wire. Like The Wire is a great series to me. Yeah, but The Wire means something to me because I grew up in Baltimore County on the way to The Wire in not a good section at all, because like Baltimore blends into Baltimore County, and the county and the city is a very different thing. So the brand is so special to me, and so is Kevin. Like, it's so fucking special to me, man, because I gave it everything. But like, I know like Kevin doesn't know how I was treated, or he would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?" But he's out of the game, and he should be. He did his part, and Patrick Frisk is fucking amazing and smart. And our building's the best. It's the best guys. It's the best product. Like, I keep this book next to me. Like, it's like, this is Kevin's book, right? This is Steph. This is The Rock. This is Jordan Spieth. These are our guys. But I'm going to stay on the high road, Mark, and I'm not going to talk about this much. But I do want to say this if I can, and then I'm going to shut up. If you work in human resources, you need to be a human.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the women's sciences of life. This is fucking our life. And like in 4 weeks, I met these guys, and I was talking to Terrence today, and I got emotional because like it means more to me. I'm from Baltimore, man. Like, I'm from fucking Baltimore. And I came to Chicago, and I loved it. And Mark, I'm similar to you because my dream was Chicago. I don't even know why. I was under a table somewhere and dreaming when I was 8, and I knew I wanted to live in the city and do what I did. I lived my dream. And I'm done with it.
Chicago is a big, giant, cosmopolitan Baltimore or Buffalo. It's the same ethnic mix of people. It's the same weather. It's the same blue collar.
Yes.
That's why we all love Chicago. And I got to tell you, listening to you, you sound exactly like my nephew, Michael Giangreco. And remember that name because he is the most creative, energetic, high-powered, crazy, nuts, aggressive.
Can I meet him for a drink next week? Because I got time.
He's an ad guy who's all about branding and logos, and he's buying and selling retro sports gear online. And he aligned himself with a bunch of big-name athletes, trying to rep them and put their marketing deals together. He's at an ad agency now. He's so creative. He's so good. Born and raised in Buffalo, went to my grammar school, went to my high school, went to my college.
Sabres fan, right? Like Sabres fan.
Yeah, Sabres, Bills fan. He actually he was also a sportscaster for a while in Virginia. He covered all the DC stuff, covered some Baltimore stuff. So you two guys sound exactly the same. So I got to put you together. Maybe you can put together your own company.
I love it.
Hey.
We'll work for. I'm under him because I want to work for somebody as smart as you, and I know he probably is.
I don't know, but you guys have been absolutely tremendous. I don't want to keep you up because I didn't know you could drink. I would have popped something.
Bro, that's what we do.
Mandatory.
What we do
Well,
here.
Drink.
This is barbershop talk with the booze, man. That's
Well,
what
listen,
it is.
I love podcasts and I love being in the little windows, but I would love to get together with you guys in person and actually meet somewhere in a bar and throw down a few.
Las Carolla.
Absolutely.
We'll get
whenever you ready.
We'll get a table
there.
in the back where my picture's in the men's room and we can hang out.
Sounds like a plan, Mark. Sounds like a plan. I'll even bring Fat Mike with me. How about that?
Oh my gosh. I talked to him. Well, I texted with him the other day. He doesn't want to leave the Dominican.
He's still there.
Nor should he. Stay.
He came back finally.
Yeah, just do a show.
I'm about to say he's been in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
He came back.
Just get on a boat and do pirate radio from the Dominican.
That's what I told him too. I told him to start doing just radio from there. Just stay there. Just give me all the info. I'll handle 1252. Go ahead and just have fun. Stay there forever. I would have.
So listen, after the holidays, let's get together. I mean it. Let's do it. You guys have a great Thanksgiving and a wonderful Christmas. And
You too,
Can't
Mr. G. Thank you.
with you guys.
Thank you, Mark.
Absolutely,
You too,
Mark.
Mr. G.
I will
Appreciate
make
you,
sure.
Mr. G.
I will make sure that we all reach out to you, Mark. Thanks again. We appreciate you, man. As usual, well done, Mark. You go have a good night. The
Thank you,
Hawks
sir.
are tied right now, 2-2 at the end of the second.
Yeah, I got it on. All right, cool.
Oh, you know. All right, buddy.
All right, Mr. G.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
Mark.
one. See you, Mark. Man, Mark, great guy.
Awesome guy, man.
Love
Awesome
my guy, Mark Giangreco.
How awesome.
Thank you,
is
AB.
that?
Can't
AB,
get any
thank
better
you.
than my guy Mark, man. I'm telling you, he
Great to
is
talk
one
to.
of a kind, man. He
Great
is
to talk to.
truthful to the end, no matter what it is, no matter what the situation is. Love it. I don't even know where to go
Absolutely,
from
man.
here, guys. Like, my
Absolutely.
God.
To bed.
Yeah, right? Night.
No, we could talk about that game a little bit, that Bears game, because
Oh.
I'm sure some of our viewers are like, okay, are they going to talk about that game at all?
We had a lot of guys in the beginning when we started talking about it.
Yeah,
but
we
all
did,
kind of
but-
veered off a little bit, but
Yeah,
that's what we do
did.
here.
So let's get back on track.
Absolutely.
So it can be real quick because
Yeah.
did anybody see what Detroit did Sunday?
You know how many people thought that the Lions were going to beat the Steelers the other week? A lot.
I was one of 'em.
including
I was one
myself.
of 'em.
A lot of people thought that, man. And
I thought that too.
it wasn't against the realm because the Steelers beat us because of, I mean, yeah, we all know that, yes, you have to win the game, yada, yada, yada. But the referees really put it to us that game. And that's not something that we should say a lot because you got to bring it every day. You can't use that as an excuse, but my God, I mean, give me a break. Like, that was just outlandishly horrible. And I saw the Steelers for what they were. And it got exposed again against the Lions. And this past week, again, the Steelers went down. I'm happy for that. But the Lions game, this I hope everyone comes out with their hair on fire this game and goes insane because all they're hearing this week is about Matt Nagy. Something happened today with Matt Nagy. I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure Bears social media was insane. My God, off the chain today about Matt Nagy
It was.
And him hopefully possibly being fired after this game.
He's not going to be fired
That's
rumor. Bullshit.
So
it's a rumor, but it's gonna gain some speed.
But hold on. Okay, so do any of you know the gentleman that actually let this source out? Do you know what his name is or anything like that?
Mark Conchol or Concol,
very close,
some shit like that.
So he does a podcast.
What's his name?
It's I don't even know it. It's he does a podcast with Allen Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
So when he says sources, he talks about Allen Robinson.
He's talking about A-Rob,
who is actually speaking about the team because he's obviously there.
Well, Mark told us the leaks come from the players.
And if you do a podcast, like if we did a podcast with a former player and then I went on Twitter after and said, oh, sources tell me, obviously everybody's going to know who I'm talking about, you know, but
right.
Is there something behind what he's saying? Because all I hear right now is he's lost the locker room. He's basically done, right? He's got to be hearing this from Allen. So who is he hearing it from? You know? Walter Payton's son is like freaking out on Twitter saying that all this doesn't add up. He's over there doing his homework too. Everyone's trying to figure this out right now.
So just count your ducks in a row, right? If you have, that's
so it's Mark
Conchol.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: throughout NBA, MLB, NHL, NFL, whatever, your source is either somebody within the organization or it's an actual player, right? So if somebody is saying this, which has to be coming down from high, it has to have been spoken about. And if that is the case, yes, we will be elated to a certain extent if Matt Nagy is fired Friday after Thanksgiving. Black Friday, call it Black Friday. If he's fired on Black Friday, we'll have one of those, told you, blah, 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 blah. And then we proceed to put out the same product that we've been putting out. Does that Tabor, special teams guy, am I worried about him taking over as head coach? No, because now I'm seeing everybody on that roster that is a player under contract. You're probably safe.
Oh,
but that coaching staff are the walking dead.
Yeah. So I was wrong about that. Apparently it's Jordan Schultz is the guy with A-Rob. But I also heard that he was out there saying stuff too about this whole same kind of stuff about how the locker room is lost, yada, yada, yada. Not the Nagy actually being fired thing. That's from this other guy, Conchol, right? So I apologize for that. I get them all confused, but we all
come on. You're on the podcast, but we think we know everything.
I don't know shit. I just heard people saying that A-Rob was basically running his mouth and using this guy as his
mouthpiece.
Yeah, exactly. But he's also telling the same kind of stories, is that he's lost the locker room. Did you hear Jalen Johnson actually was on a presser earlier, and he was saying we don't want any more rah stuff, yada yada yada. Who's the rah guy for the Bears? Isn't it Matt Nagy?
It's Matt Nagy, absolutely.
So there's some truth behind this stuff. Like, he's tired of hearing it because they've lost 5 games in a row. We're all tired of it. I mean, you can only rah so long until you lose the locker room 100%, right?
You can, but see, here's the thing. Any we can add, I guarantee you, I bet you $1 to a bucket of shit. We can interview any of our guests we've had and ask them this question. If you're a leader of men as a coach, they'll go through the wall for you.
Damn right.
Nagy has proven to be the rah guy, but he's not a leader of men.
No, he's not.
What did Lance Briggs tell us the other day? Exactly that. That's exactly what Lance Briggs told us the other day, is that, it matters who is your leader. And all players, everybody can spot someone who's a leader as opposed to someone who's not, right?
Correct.
And yes, that first year, there was a lot of camouflage on that whole thing. Everyone thought it was Matt Nagy. Oh my gosh, he brought Santa Slay. He brought all these great invented plays, right? Where have those plays been since 2018? In the dumpster.
Man, Ryan Pace basically put makeup on the pig and said, "This is your head coach."
It was Big
This is your head
Fangio.
coach. But it wasn't
Big
he
Fangio.
wasn't all the glamorous and
No.
the quarterback guru. He was none of that shit.
No. And
yeah, you're right, AB. Big Fangio. That was the dude that made the whole thing go.
You know what the red flag should have been? It should have been the year before, whenever we had the Chiefs up against the Tennessee Titans. And the Chiefs were up something huge in points. And then they blew like a 17-point lead or something against Marcus Mariota. And the Tennessee Titans blew the game. Guess who was play calling that game?
Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy.
Absolutely.
So that was my first red flag, right? Matt Nagy. Immediately, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This guy really shouldn't be calling plays because he blew a 17-point lead.
Nagy gone Nagy.
You should start there, right? And, I mean, you can just keep going and going and going. The second half of the 2018 season, you didn't see very many points, right? Because everyone started figuring them out. The defense was carrying them. They had, 6 touchdowns that year? 6 or 7?
But see, that's the so if you want to dig a little deeper, therein lies the problem, because right now we're looking at so-called Andy Reid disciples right now, right?
Yeah.
But how much of that was, let me just do what Coach Reid does and hope it works in this situation, as opposed to Nagy coming with his own ideals, his own twist or whatever, because we've seen this picture before. All the success that that Bill Belichick has had, Josh McDaniels was his OC.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels went to Denver, we didn't see none of it. Right? So then what does he do? He goes right back to Bill Belichick. So just because you're a disciple of this like offensive guru or this change of pace guy, like how we did with Mike Martz when we got him from the Bears. We knew that wasn't going to be the greatest show on turf. He showed signs, but it wasn't the same deal. So just because Nagy had this so-called up-and-coming new offensive coordinator, should be a head coach type thing in Kansas City, that didn't mean it was going to translate to the Bears directly.
No.
We hoped it would. But he's proven his ineptitude year 1 to 2, definitely year 2 to 3, and now you see year 3 to 4.
Absolutely. And
so
my God, Mike Martz, he got
did Nagy this game against Baltimore?
Nagy,
do we point the finger at him? Who do we point the finger at?
It's the entire organization. It is from top to bottom. It is the
Terrence, I'm gonna say this.
The 4th year of us coming out and being mediocre, right? We're a mediocre team who
less than
always thinks that
mediocre.
we're better than that.
Less than mediocre.
But the past couple years we've been around 8-8, 8-8, you know, just enough to make the playoffs and then get beat down when we get there, right? The level of skill with our 6th, 7th seed and a 1 or 2 or 3 is astronomical, and you see it all the time because you see what happens when we go up against good teams. We get obliterated.
We do.
So then
So
instead,
was the Ravens a good team?
Wait. Listen. Let me get to my notes real quick. Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna get to my notes.
Come on, man. What is that fucking Lamar?
All right, Cal,
Lamar.
Hear me out for a second.
He's talking and he didn't even realize he wasn't even on the show. He was talking.
Hear me out.
Go ahead.
Hear me
Go
out.
ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, listen. This is different than you think, because what I've learned from my experience.
With a set of brand new clothes. I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Great Disney reference, Oliver.
Oliver, I love that. Thank you for that, my friend.
It's 11-11. Let's make a wish, right? Here's what I've learned.
Not here, it's not.
Well, East Coast
Illinois,
time, baby.
not.
East Coast time, baby.
We're in Illinois.
Here's my wish for you guys. And it's not. I'm not fighting you. I'm offering you an olive branch. You're not going to make the playoffs. We know this, right? So
that's the beginning of the year. That was
right. So here, we're inviting you from Baltimore, and I'm not speaking for the city of Baltimore, but I am. We're inviting you to come with us. Why not? You're Alan. Don't be Alan. Here, Alan. This is the problem in life. Hear me out for a second. Can you hear me, or are you going to just shake your head? You're an NFC team. What do you have to lose? I'm not asking you to go for Green Bay.
I have a Bears podcast show, first of all.
Yes.
I have a Facebook group with 10,000 people on it.
But Alan, here's the reality.
I really want to change teams whenever I have that much invested in this.
No. I'm not asking you to change. I don't want you to change anything. I'm just saying when it's cold and y'all are done, you're gonna root for somebody. Who are you gonna root for then?
I always do. I have an AFC team. I do.
Who is it?
I've actually got 2 of them.
Who is it?
And my number 1 AFC team has always been the Buffalo Bills. Always.
Sounds convenient right now. I don't know why.
Number 2 is the Ravens because
Mark ain't watching no more.
I loved Ray Lewis. That's just the truth. Like
we'll take that, Alan. Be our number 2. We don't have to be our number 1, but just if we're on TV and you're bored on a Saturday in January, because we're gonna be on TV, son, in January, and
all right, cut Cal, mute his shit.
It's been fun, Cal.
No.
It was an invite. It was an invite, guys. It was an invite.
You don't come on the Chicago Clubhouse podcast. The Chicago Clubhouse podcast.
I'm well aware.
If you have that crab that you had last week, we'll be there.
All right,
we'll be there.
Come on down. I'm inviting you into. We're inviting you. We're inviting you.
Terrence is a trader to food, man. He just needs a plate.
Everybody always has their dark horse favorite.
You called it. You called it, JB. You called it.
You have your team that your loyalty lies with, and then you have your dark horse favorite.
You and Phil Nicholson. You and Phil Nicholson called it. Like
we
dark horses.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Who is Leighton? Who is Leighton?
That's he's up the road. He's the man.
Leighton.
You know what? No, wait. True story. True story. I saw Leighton Alsip this morning on his way to the bus stop. He's in 9th grade. He's not in 9th grade. He plays for Hereford. He's the man. He's got better hair than all of us. He's got lettuce. He's up the road. I saw him on his way to the bus stop, him and his brother. We talked Duke basketball. He's an Ohio State fan. He loves Caleb Brown. Our St. Rita guy, Caleb Brown. He loves him. We talked about it this morning. Southside. He is.
Also,
he's the man.
Except for the Ravens.
He should love Justin Fields, who is a Bear.
He does love Justin Fields. You all sound angry. Chicago's a city of embracing and love. Like, embrace us.
This is the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, and we talk about Chicago.
And we're never going to talk about this again. Alan, where am I going to be on Saturday? Covering your K's. I'm back in town Saturday, right?
Illinois.
Yes. I'm home for the holidays, Alan. Let's love each other. It's the holidays.
Yeah, with fucking
yes, sir.
Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love.
Yes, it is.
We're the windy city.
Yes, sir.
Which means we change like the wind, good or bad.
Right.
We move around like crazy.
Now, we in a bad spot.
I know.
We're in a bad
Where's
spot.
that stolen ass Macy's Christmas tree?
No, see, I'm back in we call it in Hereford, they call it the zone, right? I'm in the zone. My parents are from Parkville. Like it's a different world. I'm so lucky to be here. Y'all met Aiden. You met Aiden. I'm in the zone today.
And I'm gonna put you in my zone. I'm gonna get you in my zone right now. Hold on, I got this. I'm gonna get you in my zone right now, Cal. Here's my zone. Right now, we're dealing with ineptitude from the front office all the way on down.
Okay.
We got over $50 million of our damn players not playing, either out for the season or not trying. It is a complete dumpster fire right now in Chicago. We understand. We see the championship banners. We know the lore of the Ravens, former Cleveland Browns. We understand. We applaud that. But right here on the Chicago Clubhouse podcast,
I respect it.
No. I know you respect it because you wouldn't be on here if you didn't.
Right. I love y'all. I love you. I love y'all.
But what we gonna do right now? What we gonna do right now is we gonna dig in Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy's ass a little bit more.
Yo, please. I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
I know we out of it, but until we out of it, we ain't out of it.
Fair enough. I love it, JB.
The Ravens to the left real quick.
All right, I love it. Go ahead.
But what we need to understand is how everybody is looking at Justin Fields and wondering what's going on right now, and they're not looking at how Matt Nagy called different plays while Fields was in the huddle, and then called these dynamic plays while Andy Dalton came on the field, which is who he really wanted. That's what we need to talk about. If we're gonna pick the ballistics, let's talk about the real deal.
We can talk about that, but I got to tell Terrence one thing about this whole situation.
What's that?
I found the tree.
Oh, that's the damn
I found Cal's Christmas tree.
So
hey, wait, can I counter? Let me counter. Terrence.
You can't put it up as quick as I can on here.
Terrence.
When it comes to this shit.
Terrence, you are AB. AB, you're smart. AB, you're the smartest guy in this room, and we know it.
I don't know.
Seriously.
About that.
No, you are.
Terrence,
did I ask you to come on this podcast? Did I come to you and say, Terrence, can I come on this podcast? No, you asked me to come on. I'm like, I'm busy, bro. I got shit going on. And then all of a sudden, I come on your podcast and I get fired because I came on your podcast. It's like you couldn't make it up. It's like I'm reading The Onion. I'm like, is this fucking for real? Is my performance review for real or is it The Onion? And I was like, no, guys, send me the real one. Is this Matt Kaplan? Did Matt Kaplan put this together? I was laughing at it, right? But it's real. And that's the point for me. Like, Terrence, we talked today, right? Like, we had a real conversation today. Yeah. And honestly, guys, like, if I could take like, I had a hard week. And I wasn't kidding about the zone today. Like, they got me through a hard day, and you guys got me through a day. Because, JB, you hit it on the head. Like, we all learn the game from somebody in life, right? Whether that's your father and Alan, we were talking about dads today, and Aiden lost his dad, and I love these kids. But, like, you learn the game from somebody. William Wesley, you could never check me. Right? I learned the game from William Wesley. Who's your William Wesley in life? Our William Wesley in life was a guy named Max Tucker from Chicago. He was a Chicagoan. And I don't know any guys. I mean, I know dudes, man. My dudes are, y'all are like my family immediately. Like fast friends, right? And I told this, I'm out of tears. Honestly, I'm like out of fucking tears, dude. Because I don't have any more. Because 95 up Philadelphia is a long road. For 2 hours, when you're crying for 2 hours, it's long. If you're getting roadhead, it's quick. That's terrible. Leighton, go to bed. Leighton, go to bed right now. That's Max. That's Max. Max just came into my body, and that's what this funeral was, man. It was the hardest one I've ever been to because it's so many tears, but it's laughter because that's what we are, and that's what life is, right? It's like you get fucking punched in the face. You're either going into a storm or you're coming out of one, and that's it. And then you just ride that wave. But Max, man, like, he taught me the game. I dress like I dress because of Max. And I'll give you just, I don't know how much time we have, and I'll try to keep it brief. But I'll give you my inoculation into Chicago. These fucking guys, dude. Mike Mastalone and John Durkin. So I'm in Chicago. My best friend is like a guy, not like a guy. It's a guy named Brennan Creaney. He's from the same town as I am. And Brennan, you guys know my story as where I played high school sports. Brennan was the man. He played at Loyola and Calvert Hall. It's like the oldest Catholic League school in fucking Baltimore. And Brennan was the quarterback. His brother was the quarterback, best looking guy in the room. And like Max, he'll never let you feel like he's the best looking guy in the room. He makes you feel better. But Brennan was quarterback at Loyola. He played basketball. I played high school basketball. I love it. By the way, I can't fucking wait. I didn't even play football, and I love these kids. I was a soccer guy, right? I played soccer in college. But, like, I love high school basketball, man. And we have the best city in the world for high school basketball. Out of doubt. Right? And then I played lacrosse late in life. Brennan played baseball, and he's a fucking whatever. He's a sophomore, junior. He picks up a lacrosse stick his senior year of high school, and he makes Notre Dame's Final Four team that following year in college.
Wow.
That concept. Now, his dad played football at Notre Dame. His parents were always kind to me. We're Carney kids, man. That's my guy. Like, we've been at it since 8th grade fucking talent show, right? We've been at it. But that's Max Tucker to me. And Max Tucker is from Chicago. And I don't know any dudes who move, and maybe y'all do, and y'all can help me with this. Who moves from Chicago to Philadelphia?
Oh,
nobody. But on Sheffield and George, there's a massive Philadelphia bar. It was called Mad River, long live it, because Max made it. He's so fucking smart that he's like, yo, Cal. He would come into town, and like I learned more behind 3 feet of wood than anybody else could ever learn from Max Tucker, because it wasn't about like the drinks you were pouring. It was about people. And like Max knew that. It was about building teams and building cultures. And what a bunch of crybabies we were. Like, there wasn't a dry eye. But I want to tell you some things from the funeral, and then I'll get us out of here. But like Max taught me a lot of things in life. And like this funeral, man, like this fucking funeral, because it's like, who's more creative? Like his twin brother, his older brother, Eric Tucker, is like on any list of Chicago of like best looking dudes. Eric was always kind to me, but these guys were they're the sharpest guys in the room. And they made you feel like you were, and that's the trick of life, because they knew it. And Max was taken from us too early, and Mike Voles and John Dirk. Like, here's how I got into this company. Me and Brennan, I come to Chicago for like on a Tuesday, and we get to Thursday. I'm like, yo, this city's lit, man. He's like, just wait till the weekend. We get to Saturday, right? We go out on a Saturday, and on Sheffield and George, there's a line around the block. And we're both crafty, right? It's tricky, whatever. And I see this line, and I'm like, B, there's a Mad River in Baltimore. Let's just go to the front of the line and tell them we work there. We didn't know it was their 1-year anniversary party. And Mike Mastellone, who owns it, standing at the door. So I go to the bouncer, and I'm like, yo, man, we work in Mad River, Baltimore. He's like, come on in. Like Baltimore and Baltimoreans, it's fine. Come on in, right? And he's like, John and Mike are at the door. And I'm like, what? Now I'm fucked because I lied, right? And I'm trying to get into this bar. It's packed. And I walk in the door, and Mike's like, who the fuck are you? You don't work for me. And he loved it so much that he's like, now you're going to work for me, right? Because he knew the hustle to get in. And Mike and John are busy. They're like, Mid River, New York started on fucking the Upper East Side. It's closed now because of Corona. Like, these guys are the fucking best guys in the world. And like Max taught us, like, because Mike and John were busy, you know? And so John would be like, yo, Cal, I'm sending Max in. Like, he knew I was raw, but he knew like the blink test of life. Like, you know good when you see good. And like Max, yeah, I know, man. Like I can hear him. Like, get it together, you sissy. Get it together. Like, be better, because we're out of tears, you know. And nothing's changed. Like Mike Voles, nothing's changed. John Durkin. I mean, Mike's on his third girlfriend, who's 26. She's probably hot as whatever. Brian Mastellone married another girl who he worked with. Like, come on, Brian. John's going to Mexico next week. Mike's got an amazing wife. Rick Douglas, who owns Uproar's a Man. But in this funeral, man, like, people are talking, and you're like, it can't get funnier. It can't. It can't until it did, because then, like, his mom comes up, and like Max loved Jeopardy. And he loved ping pong, and he loved people, and he had 2 kids. And Terrence, can you help me here for a minute? Who did I tell you my favorite president today is? Eric T? Who's my favorite president?
You're on mute, homie. You're on mute.
I was going to say, if I'm on mute, then like Max is playing a sick joke on me because I just let it all out.
Terrence is on mute.
Terrence, who's my favorite president?
Abe Lincoln. Abe Lincoln. Number 5.
Yep.
Well, he's not the 5th president, but like we'll talk about that later.
He's number 16.
He's 16.
16. Yeah. But whatever. My girlfriend thought he was 74. I'm like, hey, there's only 40 presidents.
I don't know.
She's not even my girlfriend. Hey, you know what's sick? And I'm not saying this out of like I'm single. Listen, I'm not saying this because I'm single. I'm saying this because like,
didn't
they make you go to Springfield when you were a kid?
Yeah, Springfield's Lincoln's the man because let's stay on. Let me stay in this lane for a second. Man. Lincoln's my favorite president because he said, and I'll paraphrase whatever the hours are. And this is Matt Kaplan, man. If you have an hour to cut down a tree, you sharpen your axe for 45 minutes. And that's what the Bears can't do. Like Matt Nagy can't sharpen his axe. John Harbaugh can. We sharpened that shit all week. I told you guys last week. Mark Andrews, right? Sorry, man.
You're riled up on this. No, but Cal, man, like
But let me finish. Let me finish because like Max named his son Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit!
And he named his daughter Zoe.
Wow.
And I'm like, fuck Max. Because, like, I don't know. Nobody knows why Max is gone, but here's what I know, man. I know that I'm like, here are the things people said about Max. Well, they said so many things. But the thing for me personally that I'm having a hard time with is Max taught me you always answer your phone. Always. And if you don't, you get that person back immediately. Because that's all you have in this life is how you react and how you respond. And he was so good. And I dressed like I dressed because I looked at him and Eric, and I was like, those are the guys, right?
Yeah. No, man, it's all about investing in other people.
But AB, this guy was so smooth in Chicago that he went to Philadelphia and did the same fucking thing. And then he called me and he said, hey, by the way, Sheffield and George, that's now an Eagles bar. And you know what's so sick? This fucking guy. The Blackhawks ended up playing the Flyers for the first championship, and I'm managing the bar. There's 100 fights a night. I'm like, Max, what do I do? I got guys fighting guys, Philly Joe, like whatever, and I inoculated into these two communities.
You got to talk them down, man.
Alan, try talking to Flyers down in Game 6. You been to fucking Philadelphia?
I've been there, yeah.
But Max could.
You got to find everybody. Like, everyone has a thing that you have to gravitate towards. You know, whenever you're like trying to calm people down, like
he's the best. It's
learn
hard.
How to do these kind of
it's
things.
A hard skill.
You have
like
to learn
he
how
had
to read people, man, and that's something that very, very, very few people can do, man.
And I'll tell you this, man. Like, it doesn't fucking matter that I don't have a job. I don't give a fuck. It does matter to me that like my company blew up my relationship with my girlfriend and my family, and it's Thanksgiving, and I'm like, where am I going? But I don't care because I have you guys. And I was telling that to Terrence today because I was so scared I was going to lose these kids because I love them, man. I seriously love them. I'm like, Alan, when we first met, you were like, yo, something's off with Cal. And you were right.
Yeah, I knew immediately.
Immediately. I'm a fucking mess of a human because I feel like I'm going to lose Jake Sterney and these fucking kids at St. Rita. And I'm like, how am I? Like, it's all a gas, right? But it's not because you met Aiden today.
Yeah.
Right? Or you met him before, and like his dad was a goalie at Randolph-Macon College. Like stand up Randolph-Macon. This guy, Brett Reichert, his father like invites me into his home. It's just like there's so many good people in the world.
And that's what you have to always remember. Like you have to remember, you know, that as much bad as there is in the world, Cal, there's always good people, and
yes.
There's always good memories. And,
yes,
you know, even whenever someone's gone, you have to remember what you can carry in your life through them and live on, you know, they can live on through you just because of the way that you act and the way that you carry yourself, man. Like,
yes.
You have got to remember that is that those people are smiling down on you.
He is. And can I tell you something, AB? Like, we don't talk about religion on here, but I need you to look at this for a second.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
No.
No, please, I want you to finish. That's my call. That's my. Go ahead.
He is looking down on you, and he's saying you are representing him the correct way.
Well, I could never represent like Mark. I could never be half as good as this guy ever.
You're doing it your best, and that's all that matters in life.
He was born on February 1st. I was born on December 1st, and if you're born on the 1st, you're a fucking G, right? That's it. Y'all weren't born on the 1st. Sorry to tell you, but we were.
I'm sorry,
right?
but the 25th babies are way better.
You're right. It's a great birthday. It's a great birthday. But the point of the sermon was like, regardless, because that room's complicated, right? Because he's Jewish. My best friend in Chicago, Rick Douglas, is Jewish. And like, I'm Catholic, but like, we're touching fucking kids. Who are we to fucking be throwing stones from a glass house? Whatever it is, like, complex is my favorite site on Instagram, right? Because human beings, like Mark said, we are complex. And the point of it was we're all here to live together. Not fucking, I'm this religion. And it's like so funny. Like, if you put, like, there's 200 and whatever religions in the world, or like 700. If you put the top 5 in a room, and this is Sam Harris, by like default alone, if they're all fanatical, 4 of them are going down, right? And you think of that concept, you're like, why don't we just all just fucking chill? Like, let's just all be on the same team. And that's a hard room, though, because religion is a space that's very hard.
It's not just religion, Cal. That's across the board. But
Yeah.
that's something that we don't need to dig into that because that's going to.
No, we're not. We're not. But no, we're not. And I don't want to go there. But it was so beautiful to me because like the guy was like, "Hey, man, I don't know where Max is." To your point, Alan, but I know that he's smiling on y'all.
That's all.
And I'll leave it at that.
That's all that matters, man.
Okay.
And all you got to remember is, happy, good thoughts about it, man.
Amen.
That's all you can do.
Amen.
All right. Well, shit. Can we get some shout outs and then we get out of here?
Absolutely. Yeah. Who wants to go first?
I'll do it now. Shut up. All I want to do is shout out. Hey, let me shout out the guys at Raven Zone, Tom and Tom tonight. I was like, let me go get some fucking swag. They're like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, my guys are like, my guy. You these guys are so good. They're like, yo, dude, you're crazy. And
where's the Bears one at?
Alan, I'll be back in Chicago Friday, man.
You know how I am.
I know. But I want to shout out those guys. I want to shout out you guys. I want to shout out our young athletes real quick. If you need something, put your hand up because I've had a check engine moment in my life. Everyone probably has. But if you need something, put your hand up and we got you.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man.
And I'm done.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cal, you got to keep on keeping on with that, man. Like
that's how we do. Bear down. We bear down.
The things that you do with all those kids is astronomical, man. It is amazing. Please keep up that work that you do.
For sure.
It is nothing but good things, man.
Appreciate y'all.
You want to go, JB, or you want me to go?
I'm just moved by Cal's energy.
I am too.
So,
I am.
Cal, you know we're here for you, brother.
We can only tell you the truth, right? All of us. We're the same guys. Like the guys I talked about, we're all the same guys. We're the same guys. We can only tell you the truth, and that's what you guys do.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for you guys this time of the year.
There's a lot of people, man, that sit and say that they're like giving it their all and really preaching what they feel, Cal, and you just did it better than almost anyone I've ever seen do it, Cal. And
the guy we had on
the entire time. Yes, but you were the entire time. You didn't hold back, and that's exactly what us, as other podcasters, extremely respect, man. Much love for that.
Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Much love. So to my shout outs, I want to shout out a couple people. Obviously, Mr. G, Mark Giangreco. Like that was an awesome pod, an awesome interview. Like that is one of my favorites since I was like a little guy watching my parents watch the news, watching my aunt watch the news. Like I said, I shared a story with the Bears versus Media back when I was a little tight. So that was kind of like nostalgic and cool, just talking to this guy that I saw like 30 years ago, just whatever. Actually, longer than that. I was like 8. But all that was just wonderful. Live. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to moms and shout out to my aunt, Marilyn Bynum, checked in today.
Oh.
Yes.
Wait,
so
auntie?
It's my aunt. So my mom, my aunt, we got a family affair going.
Family reunion.
Yep, we got it going.
It's coming.
Shout out to SB, always watching and paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to some of our guests that I've seen a lot of times that welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you guys. Shout out to my team. Hey, am I my brother's keeper?
Much love.
I'm going to say it one more time. Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
That's all. That's it.
That's it? Okay. Well, man.
That was the New Jack City reference, if anybody was wondering.
I was hoping everybody got it, but man, I gotta say, first and foremost, guys, this chat tonight has been insane. Fans, we have been steady strong on this from Mark to everything. My God, even whenever we got our buddy Cal here tonight, guys, and he's not on with us like this all the time, but you guys showed him a lot of love tonight in there. I appreciate that more than you know, because all that shows me is that we have real fans that really pay attention to us and really actually care about us. And that's something that I didn't really feel as much in the past. I'm not saying that everybody didn't, but seeing that and seeing the loyalty and those watch numbers not even hardly move shows me exactly what kind of fans we really have. And I can't ask for anything better than that, man. Like,
absolutely.
I don't even know what to say that. So first and foremost, my number one shout has to be you guys. Thank you for holding it down every week. Thank you for making it fun. Thank you for bringing it. Lurkers, we love you too. You can always come in. You can always say something. Sorry, Terrence. I didn't mean to step on your toes with the lurker stuff, but man, come on,
That's
guys.
all right.
Like, my God, guys, amazing job. Secondly, I gotta say, you guys, man, awesome. I love all you guys. You guys, every week, I'm always happy and excited for this segment. Like this whole night makes my week, guys. So I appreciate you, Terrence. I appreciate you, Cal. I know that you're new, Cal, but we love you, man. You're a great dude.
Fast friends here.
We do give you a lot of grief, man.
As you should.
But it's out of love, man. And
absolutely,
the fact that you recognize that means a lot, because a lot of guys would see that and just run tail, man. But you are strong in it. You hold your own. You don't care about any of it, man.
Mm-mm.
So I have got to shout out to you guys. Thank you for that. JB, my brother, man. Love you, dude. I love all you guys. Thank you. We're not trying to make this like, I feel like everybody should be crying this episode for some reason. I don't know why, but man,
I ain't crying shit.
Like
I ain't crying
like
about
a happy
celebrate,
cry,
celebrate.
Yeah.
He wants us to celebrate. I promise you.
Exactly, yeah.
I ain't crying.
He's calling me. He's like, Cal, lock it up. Lock it up,
It's
Cal.
okay to cry. It's
Right.
okay to cry.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Tommy
Lock it up.
said.
And that's what Tommy Harris told us last week, guys. He said, it's okay for you to show those kind of emotions, guys. Don't forget, endure what is going on in your life. Make sure that you let out every emotion, no matter what it is, Cal. And you just did it better than anyone I think I've ever seen.
No,
So,
y'all are. I'm
I
on
have
y'all.
got to appreciate that. But next, man, my guy Mark Giangreco. I can't even say enough about this kid. No, he's not a kid. He's a grown-ass old man. Amazing person. I have been listening to him for years. He's one of the reasons I started doing this, because I was inspired by his voice in not only Chicago, all over the place. I know people in Buffalo that love him. Everywhere you go, I've heard great things about this man.
Yes.
He's great in radio. He's great on TV. He needs to be back on it, and he hopefully will soon be back on, because I've heard rumbles, and let's hope they're true. Mark will come back. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. He even messaged me after, just elated about how much fun he had with us and how much he loved doing this. That's the kind of guy Mark is, okay? Yes, you can say what you want about him, but the man will never, ever, ever tell you anything but the truth, and that's 100%, man, 100%. So I have to respect that, man. And I think that's it for me. Oh, shout out to the Bears for making me drink. That's the other one. Obviously the Bears. Oh, and wait a minute. Shout out to my little happy accident I did. Bud Light with Crown Peach mix isn't really as bad as I thought it was going to be.
You didn't.
I owe you a bottle. I owe you
Bud Light
fuckers a bottle.
Crown
I did.
Peach?
Crown Peach.
Yuck.
I had a bunch of Bud Light left and about this much Crown, and I was like, right?
Like I said, you're an
Screw it.
alcoholic, man.
I'm an alcoholic.
That's a boilermaker.
Okay, Mr. Moore's at 11 o'clock in the morning. You're going to call me an alcoholic. Okay.
No, he's a drunk. Alcoholics go to meetings.
Damn right. I ain't never been to a meeting. Well, I've been to DUI school, unfortunately. That's not fun, but we don't need to talk
worse.
about that.
Well, they don't have that in the city.
Oh, buddy, you don't even know the process down here. It's a whole different story out here. But yeah, guys, everybody from the fans to you guys to Mark Giangreco, I couldn't ask for a better show. It's on UT.
All right. Well, I am gonna start my shout outs with the chat. The chat was on fire.
Yes, it was.
Scott Hopkins, Johnson Tino,
Shout my boy. You better shout my boy from the zone. Come on now.
Leighton.
There we go.
Yeah, Leighton. Leighton was on fire, even though I had like that comment about the Ravens on top.
My man.
I ain't need to hear that, but yeah, shout out Leighton. Shout out Marilyn Bynum. That's Auntie.
That's Auntie.
Then shout out Mama. Shout out Shawnee. Shout out. I forget who else was in the chat.
You already said Scott Hopkins, right?
Yeah, we said Scott.
Yeah, I said Scott.
Okay, sorry.
Scott was on fire.
Yeah, he was crazy.
So
I loved it.
So definitely shout everybody in the chat. And as AV stole my thunder, the lurkers. We appreciate the lurkers too. Y'all don't say shit, but we're glad you're watching. And at some point, maybe you will say some shit. I don't know.
Please do.
I appreciate any family that I might have had. I usually don't have family support.
Yes, you do.
But if you are there, I appreciate it.
He says that every week, and every week he's got family.
It is true. I ain't had no family in the chat, man. No family.
Lying ass.
My next shout out, you guys, man. My motherfucker. If anybody asks me who my dogs, these are my dogs right here. Cal, JB, AB, my dogs. This wouldn't even be a show without any of you. Cal on prep, JB the stat man, AB the X Factor, wouldn't be a show. I'd be a point guard with nobody to dish to. That would be
a
boring.
quarterback thrown out of bounds, right?
Right.
Sounds familiar.
Want to see that?
Oh, it does.
Stop it.
Oh,
stop it.
So we got one fan that I have to shout out. I completely forgot. I didn't mean to cut you out. So last Saturday, we had Lance Briggs on, right? Yes, it was myself, it was JB and Lance because our boy Terrence had problems, right?
Comcast had problems.
So this guy right here, this Polar Knights guy, said this last week, and I looked, and it was my soft beard. It was JB's beard that was a little more, and Lance's was full, right? He said it that day, and he came on tonight, and it was the same scenario, and he said the same thing, and it was me, it was Terrence, it was JB, and then it was Mark, and it was Cal at the bottom with no beard. He made the same joke twice, and it made sense both times. I'm like, this guy's a genius, man. He said the same thing in two different shows, and both times it lined up. It stuck both times, man. It was amazing.
That's funny. Shout out Bill.
And you, Bill. Thank you. And
definitely Bill.
There's something else going on Thursday too, guys.
Oh yeah, it's our boy AB's birthday.
Some guy's turning 25.
He's
I'm gonna be 25. Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Get your ass out. Get your ass out.
I tried, man. I tried.
AB is a turkey.
I'm a turkey baby. Yes, sir.
It's a turkey baby.
Love
yes.
It. November babies are the best, right? Terrence?
I gotta. Yes.
They
November
are.
babies, definitely. That's
makes
me,
a lot
November
of sense.
4th.
I know now why you are the way you are, because I know your birthday. Because that whole astro whatever thing in the sky where if you have a birthday on a certain day, stars line up. That shit makes more sense than you think.
Damn, so you like Miss Cleo now?
I'm not. I'm not, but my girlfriend is. And Bill, it's actually AB's birthday, not JB's birthday.
Oh yeah, my birthday's not till June. I'm a crazy ass Gemini.
But we appreciate it anyway, Bill. But no, all that star stuff, she reads horoscopes and stuff to me all the time about what's going on for the month and all that. And I'm like, it's kind of scary accurate sometimes.
So you can call AB at 1-800-999. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't give
What's the rate? What's the rate?
My rate
Cal,
is 59 cents a
Listen, this is Randolph making lacrosse. Randolph making lacrosse. Hey, listen, I got a young little Reichert. I'm molding this kid. He's coming. Watch. He's coming. We in the weight room.
I just want to finish my shout outs. Can I?
I put helmets on when you shout out, Terrence. Where you been? Keep up. Go ahead.
Yes, you can. I'm sorry. We're so off the rails right now, man.
So
I love
I
it.
do want to shout out LECPOD, LEC Network, League of Extraordinary Chicagoans. We are teaming up with them. We're definitely going to do some big things with them. Stay tuned for that.
Our boy
Also,
D-Son's killing it.
SportsZone Chicago. We also team up with them. They have some great podcasts on their network. They also have an app. So grab that app on your phone and check out their podcast too. And if you did not know, Chicago Clubhouse is now a network. So that means we have a few podcasts. We have this one. We also have the CJ Scott podcast that comes on Monday at 7:00. We also have She Said What She Said that comes on Wednesday at 8. It's not going to come on tomorrow because Sherry and B, they're going to be basting their turkeys or whatever the hell they doing tomorrow. No, they are not going to be on tomorrow, but they will be on the Wednesday after that. So make sure you get in tune with that. And the CJ Scott podcast had some technical issues last night.
Sounds familiar.
What?
Sorry.
Says the man with the helmet.
Yeah.
Says the man.
Number
12 with the
right
helmet on.
now.
Number 12.
Wait a minute. He has a helmet with headphones on.
I'm asleep in this thing if I need to. Number 12.
There's another podcast too, right?
On Thursdays. I'm sorry.
He always leaves
On
us out for some
Thursdays.
reason, JB. I don't think he likes us, man. I don't know.
On Thursdays, AB and JB and Warwick Holtman, former linebacker for the Chicago Bears, they have a podcast on Thursday called Bears Fans with the Brain.
Which none of
Make
us
sure
have.
you check that out. Make sure you check that out as well. Are you on? You're not on Thanksgiving, right?
No, we were actually talking about maybe doing a show tomorrow night.
Take the day off, Alan. Take it off. You deserve it.
With Fat Mike on the 1252 Sports Network, but I don't know if we're gonna do it or not. Everyone's kind of like, and I'm kind of like, because it is Black Wednesday, and that's probably why Sherry and them aren't doing it, because Black Wednesday is the best party night of the year, right? So I'm probably gonna go let it out because it's my birthday anyway. So
You ain't going to no damn parties.
You don't know
need a
me.
helmet.
Yeah, maybe you are. Maybe
You don't know me very well, do you?
Maybe you are.
I'm gonna go tear it up, man. So probably no show this week. I might reconvene with them maybe about a Saturday show. It's something I'm just gonna talk with JB about on the sidelines. We'll see. Maybe a show.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe. So
I don't wanna get my
next
heart broken
Tuesday.
again.
Who is on next Tuesday?
Do you already
I
forget?
forgot.
Is
I
it Juice?
forgot already?
Juice, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Juice Williams that went to U of I. He played quarterback.
Yes.
Your name is
phenomenal
Juice.
quarterback. Too.
I'm excited for that one.
He will be on he is scheduled to be on the podcast next Tuesday. I haven't had a confirmation yet, but
There's no Saturday show?
no, we're not gonna pop up on Saturday.
We can sleep. Well, actually,
No
Terrence can
pop-up
sleep
on Saturday, but we do pop up sometimes. I'm glad you brought that up, AB. We do pop up sometimes, so you need to go ahead, run over to the YouTube channel, subscribe to that. Also, if you are not subscribed to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast group page on Facebook, do that. So when we do pop up on Saturdays, you'll be in the mix. Absolutely. There you go. Okay, so
hang on. Hey. One more thing.
What's that?
So when's the event when you get whooped by TJ again in shooting?
Never. That's not gonna happen. We are gonna have.
I had to give her a shout out, man.
We are gonna have
the super producer.
Shout out to the super producer.
Yeah.
But that shit never happens. Never happens.
That's what she said.
If you're shooting at a target from 5 feet, you better hit that shit.
That's what she said. She said she whooped you in shooting, man. That's all I gotta say. She said.
I mean, man, if you got a target 5 feet in front of you, then you better hit that shit. You better hit that shit 5 feet in front of you, man. But yeah, we're gonna have that outing.
Hey, real quick, Caleb Brown, St. Rita, Western Avenue, we coming. Just so you know, we coming. The K's are coming, Alan. The K's are coming.
I can't wait for
Caleb
that.
Brown.
Caleb Brown. No, all of them. It's not just Caleb. D-Nab, like Tommy, all of them. Jake, we coming.
They coming. They coming. Watch out.
We coming. Come back. Who doesn't love a comeback, T?
Man, everybody loves a good comeback except for the Ravens. I don't want to know about a Ravens comeback.
All right. I'm going to leave that alone.
But yeah, leave that alone. So we are finished here. Wait, is that all my shout outs? Moore's Beer.
Of course.
Moore's Beer. I forgot about
the whole damn show. He hasn't said it once. I'm surprised.
Raise your standards.
And I have been drinking it the whole time.
You really like that coffee beer, don't you?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I really like this porter.
You're always
if you don't know about the porter, go get it. It's in the red can.
The porter.
It's in the red can.
Oh, and we have a special exit segment now, so
that's gonna be great. But before we get to it, for my man Cal on Prep, my man, the stat man JB, who knows every single stat since the 80s and 90s, basketball and football. My man AB, the X Factor. I am T Nick, the point guard, quarterback. And I'm not gonna say that last part, so I'll just say deuces.
Oh, come on,
deuces.
I guess I gotta do it for him. See you, JB. I already know.
See y'all. See y'all. Hey y'all.
We out.
Later.
We out.
That's it.
Yeah, we done here. We out. Okay, so we out.
You're not watching this. Wag